A Democrat judge, he's appointed by Joe Biden, has blocked the deportation of the Colorado terrorists, saying that there must be adequate process. He didn't say due process. He said adequate. And he thought that the Trump administration, citing a terror attack and challenging the issue of national security, he thought that wasn't adequate. But I think that this is the Trump administration baiting the Democratic Party. This is a guy who is on camera. There's new video footage that has emerged of him whipping a Molotov at a bunch of peaceful protesters. He catches himself on fire. We watch it happen. He's got a family here. Apparently, he was waiting until his last child graduated so he could make this attack. He'd been planning it for a long time. And the question is, does his family pose a national security threat? And I think the answer is yes. Look, they're here on a visa. Their visa can be revoked for any reason. And I don't think it makes sense. If a terrorist attacks a bunch of peaceful Americans, I don't think it makes sense to keep his family here. Unsurprisingly, as we predicted, you now have the Democrats, or at least their level of influence in this country, their wing of influence, defending this guy's family. I wonder if that was Trump's intention. We got another interesting story as it pertains to this. Dave Portnoy, being interviewed by one of his employees, hosts, whatever, gets into a screaming match where he says you cannot make jokes about Jews, and even tells the guy, why don't you quit because you work for me, and insults the guy. Things are getting pretty dang crazy. A lot of news today, my friends. Karine Jean-Pierre has quit the Democratic Party, which is hilarious. Then you've got these two Chinese nationals who are trying to smuggle in fungus that can destroy our wheat crops, our grains. They call it agro-terrorism. And then, I don't know, Donald Trump's approval rating is really, really good. It's better than Obama's and Bush's for the same time in the second term. And then Vladimir Putin is vowing retaliation for the strike on his nuclear fleet. So here we go, I guess. Before we get started, my friends, we got a great sponsor. It is Beam Dream. This stuff is fantastic. I drink it every night before bed. It is absolutely delicious. It helps you sleep. Check this out. We've got it at shopbeam.com/TimPool. That's BEAM. This stuff's really, really great. I like the brownie flavor, but this one we got displayed is the cinnamon cocoa flavor. It's like a hot chocolate.
They all sound awesome.
They're really good. It was funny because James O'Keefe, when he saw me doing the sponsor spot, he was like, I drink this every night. What is this? And I was like, hey, they didn't pay for that. My friends, we're constantly pulled in 100 directions between news, politics, work, and family. For me, sleep was the first thing to suffer. Trust me, I felt it every day. It's true. For a period, I was getting like 6 hours of sleep every night, and I thought I was going to be okay. And then when my health started going down, I was trying to figure out why I was doing dietary switches. Literally, my wife was like, you don't sleep enough. And I was like, let me give that a shot. And then, my health improved dramatically. Thankfully, I started using Beam Dream to help with sleep, and I haven't looked back. In fact, we got a bunch of this stuff, and it's been fantastic. Absolutely. Nights can be restless, crash hard, wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning with your mind racing, never really get back to sleep. Sometimes you're lucky to get 5 or 6 hours. Even then, you can wake up feeling like you haven't slept at all. That was the worst. With Beam, I'm consistently getting a solid night of sleep. Fall asleep quickly, stay asleep, wake up clear-headed, no grogginess, no midday crashes. I'm more focused when I'm working. I got more energy throughout the day. I feel more present overall. And in fact, I've been skating every day, no breaks. And I've been doing pretty dang well, honestly. And you guys have heard me talk about it before. I have that headband because I try to improve my sleep. So I'm doing everything I can. What I appreciate most about Beam, it's not some gimmicky quick fix like other sleep aids. Beam Dream uses science-backed blend of magnesium, L-theanine, and other natural ingredients that help your body genuinely relax and recover without leaving you feeling groggy the next morning. It's also got 0 added sugar, just 15 calories. It's already improved over 18 million nights of sleep, mine included. So if you're struggling and you want to feel better, check it out. Check out shopbeam.com, link in the description below. You'll get 30% off with promo code TIMPOOL. And there's also, shopbeam.com/TimPool. Check it out. And James O'Keefe drinks it too. He didn't get paid for that. Also, my friends, go to timcast.com, click join us, get in our Discord server. If you're wondering how you can be more involved, if you're sitting there at home thinking, I don't know what the first step is, you go to timcast.com, you join that Discord server, and instantly you got tens of thousands of people you're hanging out with in our live chat room 24/7. You want to bounce ideas around. You want to find people to work on projects. Yo, it is a party 24/7. You come in and you're going to make friends. You're going to argue with people probably, but a lot of people have gotten projects off the ground. Some people have even gotten married. No joke. Because it's community. That's what we're trying to build. And the big news is over at timcast.com, events We got 3 upcoming culture war live dates. July 26th, August 2nd, and August 9th. So get ready. More information will be coming. But if you want to come, be a part of these events in the audience, booing and jeering or cheering, join us at timcast.com, become a member, get in that Discord server. But don't forget to also smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Chrissie Mayr.
Hi, it's so good to be here.
Who are you? What do you do?
Who am I? I'm a comedian, podcaster. I got a bunch of dates coming up this summer and into the fall. I'll be in Long Island, Ohio, San Diego, Phoenix.
Commander of the Simcast.
Simcast every Sunday on my YouTube channel, all the things. Follow me at Chrissie Mayr and ChrissieMayr.com for tickets.
Right on. Ian's hanging out.
Hi, everybody. Ian Crossland. I am an actor, musician, producer. Good to be here. I also have the phenomenal, powerful Phil Labonte.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary. Let's get into it.
Here's a story from the Daily Mail. Colorado firebomb terror attack judge blocks deportation of the terror suspect's family. Now, I'd just like to point out, I think we are well beyond the suspect point. There is video of him throwing the Molotov, burning himself, and then you can subsequently see the burns on his face. He's then standing there screaming at people while holding the Molotov cocktails. I think it's fair to say he did it.
Yes.
So the attacker. Check this out. A Biden-era judge in Colorado has temporarily blocked the Trump admin from deporting the wife and 5 children of the firebomb attacker. They put suspect. I wouldn't say that. Mohammed Sabri Sullivan, 45, allegedly, what is it? He literally injured 12 people aged between 52 and 80. Look, okay, I just want to stress this. Fox News had the video this morning. It's been all over the internet. You can see him throwing the Molotovs and then standing there screaming while holding them. I don't think we need to play this game anymore, unless, of course, this guy's got a different name and they use the wrong name. I don't know.
Or it's a deep fake. But
yes,
if he's got burns on his face.
Based on the information released, he's the attacker. It's not alleged. Okay, 12 people between 52 and 88 at this demonstration. They're going to say the family earned temporary reprieve on Wednesday when Biden-appointed U.S. District Court Judge Gordon Gallagher said deporting them without adequate process could cause irreparable harm. And there it is.
What kind of
district judge, Democrat appointed, exactly as we predicted.
I mean, it's constant now. It's almost a guarantee that whatever the administration does, some judge somewhere is going to stick their nose in and say, no, you can't do that.
It's the resistance. Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's also stymieing the will of the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is something we talk about here. It is clear that one of the major reasons that Donald Trump was elected was because of illegal immigration, and it wasn't just to fix what was going on at the border. 66% of the American people believe that we should be deporting people. If you're going to stand up and defend a dude's family who had just committed a terrorist attack, you're gonna screw more Democrats worse.
Yeah, who do you think was buying Molotov cocktail ingredients at the store? Probably the wife and daughter.
You know?
And he was playing this for a year, and he said because of his immigration status, he couldn't get actual weapons. So that's why he made these.
And again, it's their visas. These people aren't here. They're not permanent residents, but even if they are, they're here on visas. Visas don't need the same kind of you don't need to be found guilty in a court of law to get sent home.
The State Department has the right to revoke visas for any reason at their own discretion. And I'm sure they're going to say national security. This is the family of a known terrorist. Not only are they a potential national security threat, but they're not going to be safe here either. For the sake of stability, just send them out. Wait, was that breaking news? Just happened? Yeah. We'll pull that one up. Oh, look! It literally just popped up on the screen right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We'll grab that one next. Wow, from 19.
Oh, good.
Okay, travel ban, Trump travel ban. We're looking at that's
Trump travel ban. We'll jump to that next.
Yeah, but regarding this one, is the family? You said they're here on visas.
Yeah.
They're all here legally on visas, and he's also.
Oh,
here
we don't know if it's
legally
legal.
But
he was here illegally.
Oh, he was.
He overstayed his visa and then petitioned the Biden administration, and they gave him some kind of temporary reprieve.
Okay.
And the youngest daughter, just graduated high school.
Yeah.
He was waiting.
So she's probably, he probably got his family out of, Egypt 10 years ago or whatever, because that's when there was all the chaos in the middle in Egypt.
So while she's throwing her cap in the air at graduation, he's throwing the Molotov cocktail.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Why would the family get deported? I don't understand this.
Why? Because he's a terrorist, and because it's They probably share the sentiment.
They're terrorist adjacent.
But if like someone does something that's terrorist, and then like, do you deport their cousin too, who lives like down the block?
They're
why
on
not?
visas.
Who's also on a visa?
Because they're on visas, I say yes.
Anybody related to a guy that did
If they're on a visa.
Oh, guilt by associations.
No, that's
works though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're on visas. They're guests, and we're not obligated to just let whoever wants to come into the United States come into the United States. Like we're not.
Or to let them stay.
Yeah, you're not.
Gotta go. Goodbye.
Again, these people aren't citizens. I'm not saying we should do anything to American citizens, but if you're on a visa and you do this kind of stuff, you break our laws, your family should go as well. Yes. See you later. We don't need to have
Being here is a privilege.
Yeah, being here.
But it's just general national security threats. This guy committed a terror attack. His family is here. They are at risk. They are also a potential national security risk. There's just no argument. It's like, okay, it's going to be better off for everybody if we just send them back home.
You want to keep the family together anyway. I mean, you don't want to send
Right, exactly. Keep the family together. Send them all back home.
Keep each other company. You can all sit together.
Send them back
In Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Is that not what you were saying?
Mubarak? No, I am saying like it's better that
Send them all home.
I mean, splitting them in half is not a good way to do it, but sometimes it's the only way to do it. Like
Well-
if the father does some crime, you throw him in jail. You're like, sorry, we got to split up the family. The criminal has to go to jail. But for them just to know the guy or be like the kids.
Well,
the
then he
kids
shouldn't
just
have been doing
yes, the
crimes.
kids.
I think the move was clearly get Democrats to defend the terrorists in some way.
Yeah.
To make them look even worse.
And now they have no choice. A district judge is allowing them to stay. So all of your liberal pundits are either going to say nothing and ignore the story because there's no easy out, or they'll walk right into the trap and say, it's a good thing that these people are allowed to stay. And then Trump's going to come out and say, now they're defending the terrorist and his family.
Yeah, this guy, he did he kill people? The firebombs, did they kill people?
No, interestingly, it was reported that he was charged with murder, but then the reports changed. That it was attempted murder.
Wow.
So they didn't release initially the reports on the condition of the victims, but they said it was reported far and wide, media all over the place. He was being charged with murder. Then later they said actually attempted murder. So I don't know.
I think
what they got wrong.
he threw them, he yelled out something like "unalive all Zionists" or something like that.
That would be in character, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know exactly what he said, but it sounds like the kind of thing that he would say, considering some of the other things that he said. The video that he made of himself, denouncing Israel and talking about jihad.
Oh yeah. He made a video. He had a letter, a hidden letter for his family or something.
Yep. And he specifically said it was, he was engaging in jihad. So like you can say that it's about anti-Semitism, but it's not just about anti-Semitism.
Does he have a TikTok? Where were the videos posted?
I think he might have a TikTok. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. But there was reporting on it. I saw it on the Daily Mail, I believe. But yeah, I mean, so he's made it clear what his motivation was.
What is this set a precedent for someone that's just here illegally, but their family's all here on visas, but the guy who happens to have overstayed his visa gets deported, so we deport the whole family, even though it wasn't a violent crime?
But what?
I'm wondering if that's going to happen.
Yeah, you put your family in jeopardy when you do dumb stuff like that.
I mean,
It's a good thing.
But civilly you don't. If you commit a crime, your family doesn't go to jail for it.
If you're a citizen.
No, but the visas are all conditional, and I think it is good that we say, hey, we're letting you guys come here as a family. Here are your visas. But if someone in your family commits any kind of criminal offense, we are under no obligation to let you stay here.
There are two reasons why it's good. One, it shrinks the total number of people that are here on visas. And two, it makes other people aware that, look, if you commit a terrorist act, then we're going to send not just you, but your whole family's going back to the old country.
That should motivate you
and
not
that should
to do it.
deter people to not do it.
Well, it will, but at what cost? Like
A
at the
wise woman.
Again, this isn't like some slippery slope. You're violating the rights of Americans. These people are guests, and not everyone gets to be an American. So don't think of it like it's not like taking them to a CIA black site, just sending them back to their country.
I keep thinking. Actually, for some reason today, I was thinking about like how the U.S. Sahara would target people's families like pretty religiously. If you did anything wrong, your family's going.
North Korea does it now.
This isn't targeting their families.
This is
No, it's targeting them.
what? Same thing.
Removing visas of people here who are here conditionally.
Yeah.
I know, but it's targeting the family of this
Send
violent
A
criminal.
wise woman once said, Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay.
I'm sick of this reality where it's like we as Americans are deferential to non-citizens. Look, I literally wouldn't. If you came to me and said, "Did you hear the story? Marco Rubio removed the visa of some guy because, he thought the guy's politics were bad." I'd be like, "Oh, so the guy who was appointed, confirmed by the Senate through a popular vote election, said that this guy, for some reason, he's decided unilaterally that he shouldn't have a visa anymore. I don't care. I don't get this. We have to let people come here. It makes no sense."
Yeah, sounds like a lot of thought went into it, and there was good reason for it. And yeah, being in this country is a privilege, and like there's just so many people here that are obeying the laws that on their visas. Why should that's not that doesn't set a good example for the people that are here on visas that are not causing trouble, not doing crimes. So
the whole send us you're tired, you're sick, you're hungry, you're poor.
We're done with that.
Yeah, we are.
We've been doing that for too many years.
I think you're right. That's exactly the point I was going to make. Is that made a lot of sense when we were a growing country that needed immigration to build up our populace? We don't need that anymore.
And people were not coming
warfare.
to America to do crime. They actually wanted to create a family, build themselves up, have a legacy. It wasn't like now where the illegals come, they send all their money back home, or they throw Molotov cocktails at people.
Digital money transfer, digital money transfer didn't exist in 1790.
Remittances, they call that, right? Is that remittances? Yeah. Which, that's obviously not good for America, but just having so many people here that are here illegally, just for the census, just for the way that it turns into representatives in Congress, that alone is reason enough to send people back. We have to send people back so these people are just as good as anyone else, because we want to totally reduce the number of the illegal Americans. If we could send back 20 million, I would want to send back 20 million. I don't care about their individual stories.
We got breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump signs bombshell travel ban restricting people from 19 countries from entering the U.S. Holy smokes, this story dropped literally 20 minutes ago. President Trump is banning visitors from 12 countries from entering the U.S. and partially restricting access from 7 other nations.
Nice.
The move, first reported by CBS on Wednesday evening, is the latest in Trump's efforts to secure America's borders. Afghanistan, Chad, Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Myanmar, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen will be barred from entering the United States under the new proclamation. Further to that ban, citizens of Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela will be partially restricted from traveling. White House Deputy Press Secretary Abigail Jackson confirmed the report on Wednesday evening. Writing on X, President Trump is fulfilling his promise to protect Americans from dangerous foreign actors that want to come to our country and cause us harm. These common sense restrictions are country specific and include places that lack proper vetting, exhibit high visa overstay rates, or fail to share identity and threat information. President Trump will always act in the best interest of the American people and their safety. And my response? Good.
Yes.
I don't care all that much.
No, not Equatorial Guinea. I've never even heard of Eritrea. Is that a new one?
No. Eritrea is in Eastern Africa.
It sounds like an STD.
It's a despotic nightmare of a country. And Serge knows all about it. He's nodding. I had done research into it because one of the stories I'd been working at with Vice was trying to break our way into Eritrea because they call it the North Korea of Africa.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. There you go.
Cuba's a good, interesting one.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe that's a stop-off point for people that are, or
It's literally a communist country again. That's why.
They get their cigars.
Togo. That one's interesting.
I don't know anything about the politics of Togo, so
never heard of it.
I can't even front on that.
I like that song.
Togolese Republic of West Africa.
Africa, that's a good song.
Dun, dun,
They call it the Slave Coast. Wow.
A lot of the countries that I think a lot of the countries that are listed, the African ones there's a couple Western African ones there, right?
Yeah, Togo.
Congo,
Sierra Leone.
Togo. Yeah, I've heard that there's a lot of problems with Al Qaeda people in Western Africa nowadays.
I just literally don't care.
Don't care.
Literally do not.
I don't care if they're staying over there at all.
Libya and Afghanistan.
There you go.
2 countries we obliterated.
Yeah.
How many of you are familiar with Côte d'Ivoire?
And negative.
You realize that most of the people that were fighting in the Libyan civil war
Why is it in
weren't very
French?
aware of America's involvement or even NATO's involvement.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, they don't think of it as the United States destroyed Libya. They think that they had a civil war, and they thought they won the civil war.
But the USAID was funding somehow.
That's true, but
Hillary
they
Clinton's emails showed that Sidney Blumenthal was running guns through
Yes,
Osprey Global Solutions into Libya.
that's all true, and I'm not saying that it's not. But the people that were fighting in Libya, they don't think that the support did it for them. It was them. They believe that they're the ones that did it. They really personalized, just like the Mujahideen in Afghanistan. They believed that they ran the Soviets out, even though if the United States wasn't giving them Stinger missiles, the Soviets would have continued to just send gun runs of helicopters through, Afghan village or not Africa, Afghan.
All right, Ian. What's that country?
Cote d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire. Yeah.
What's the actual country?
Ivory Coast.
Yes.
There it is.
They chose the French.
Make it sound fancier.
I mean, so it is. It is actually known as that, but it's kind of funny because it's Google Earth, and we call it the Ivory Coast. That's why I was like, why is it French? I think it's French. It could be Portuguese.
Yeah.
It's French.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Yeah, I figured.
Sacré bleu.
Look at this very thin nation of Togo.
Togo.
You're not allowed in America anymore. Look,
Bye.
if Trump was like Tuvalu can't come here, I'd be like, okay. I don't know why there's an assumption that anyone from anywhere is welcome to come to this country.
Right.
Like, by all means, apply, go through a legal process, and if Trump says, nah, I'll go. Okay. Whatever. I ain't crying about
We
it.
can take a pause for 20 years.
Oh, no.
Like, we're good.
Equatorial Guinea.
No. Where will we get our equatorial guinea pigs from?
Nah, we'll have to go north or south.
I don't know if they ever came from there.
I think if
What?
things were
Where do they
more-
come from then?
If things were
South
more
America.
stable here,
Yeah.
and it's not like we're living in instability, but massive debt, so civil unrest, or at least people complaining about civil unrest, I think then maybe this would be ridiculous. But in these times, it doesn't seem like that ridiculous.
Here's Burundi. It's just okay, I guess. Is this a big ask? Because some of these countries don't seem to matter all that much in the grand scheme of things.
No.
Like, do we have a problem with Burundis?
Democrats
Burundians.
Democrats are just
Burundians.
allergic to telling people that they're not allowed to come to the United States.
Just not right now. Like, we've had enough time of
Here's
anyone
your-
from anywhere can come.
They had whatever
your
they wanted for
Eritrea.
4 years.
That's Eritrea.
Yeah,
Wow.
the issue of Eritrea is very obvious, in fact.
Yeah.
Eritrea is on the Red Sea.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Just massive government corruption and scandal and bribery, trying to control the country.
Yeah, and they've probably got rebel operations. Houthis probably are working there in some capacity that the U.S. doesn't like.
There's militias and
Djibouti.
Djibouti.
Always a big fan of Djibouti.
Yep. The DRC,
What's DRC?
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Oh, right.
It's a big jungle. Look at that. That's where they got those big gorillas. Remember that movie, Congo,
Yeah,
where those gorillas were just killing people?
before computer graphics were good, before CGI.
King
was
Kong's from, too.
believable.
Oh, yeah. No more.
The Congo.
Is that he's from the Congo?
I think so.
Huh.
Right? Deep, darkest Africa. That's what they're talking about.
No.
Zimbabwe.
There's a great song
more
called "The Bongo
Zimbabweans.
Bong." You guys that?
Bong,
Do the
bongo,
bongo
bang,
by
What are they gonna-
diggy, diggy,
Manu
diggy,
Chao.
diggy, diggy.
Yeah, that's
What are they going to rename South Africa to after they win?
maybe just Africa.
New Africa? Yeah.
Yeah, New Africa,
I don't know.
United States
You
of
know they're
Africa.
going to call it Wakanda.
Wakanda.
They're going to call it
You know what's funny
Wakanda.
is that Wakanda's a real place in Illinois.
Is it really?
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, Chicago.
There's a suburb called Wakanda.
Oh, really?
Spelled the same.
No, it's WACAU. Not
Like Native American.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was always really funny when people were like Wakanda forever, and we were just like people from Chicago were like, okay,
We're here.
yeah, yes.
What's the demographic?
Where's the vibranium at?
I don't know. Let me look it up. Where's the vibranium?
It's down. It's
So
under.
no Ghana. That means no more gonorrhea. That's a
Oh, I spelled it wrong. It's WAUCO.
That's a Maha thing.
I don't understand. I mean, obviously.
Here you go. This came up in the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Wakanda.
Wakanda. Wakanda.
Yep. How many people live there?
That's so funny.
There's
How-
23,000 people there, living in Wakanda.
If there are not Wakanda Forever shirts being sold in that town, they're really missing out.
You should definitely make them and sell them.
To be fair, they probably are missing out.
That was like right on the border of Illinois and Indiana.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, it came up in the outrage.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Who'd be on it?
Jasmine Crockett or AOC or
Well, they're a little slow with it. Let's see what the Krasenstein's got going on.
Oh yeah.
He didn't say anything.
I wonder if anybody.
Oh, okay. No, he asked a question. Here you go.
Or that
Brian, he says, Trump just issued a travel ban for 12 nations. What do you notice? Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen. What?
What do you notice?
I don't know.
Ban for these 12 nations. Let me know what you notice. Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya.
Wait.
People take photos outside.
Yeah.
That's a common.
Libya, Somalia, Yemen, and Sudan.
Yeah, I've seen all these people looting a Target.
Is he saying that Persians are black?
Yeah, he's insinuating the racism card right now.
It's just brown people. They're all brown people. Well, I mean, most of the world is brown people. Like,
yeah,
I know.
between India and all the countries in Africa, that's like well into most of the world.
What do you notice?
The melatonin.
Someone said Muslim ban. It was Muslim and African. What are we talking about? What are we supposed to notice? Haiti?
Oh, for sure he's saying that
they're
black
just
people.
countries.
What he wants you to notice is that you're racist and you should feel terrible about it. That's what he wants you to notice.
Brian, are you actually, Brian? I'm asking you legit. Are you insinuating that Trump's doing this because he's racist?
Yes, of course.
No. Honestly,
I gotta know, bro. That's weird.
I mean, maybe, but I think he may just be saying that so that people. Okay, here, let me try this. This is a tip for all the boys out there. Chrissy knows this one. You never go to a woman and say, "Here's where we're going to dinner." You say, "Guess where we're going to dinner tonight?" And then when she goes, "Is it Luigi's?" You go, "Yup." Because I wanted to go to Luigi's.
Is it Taco Bell?
You just agree to whatever she says, and then she gets it right, and then that way you've decided, but it's actually something she thought of. That's what he's doing here. He's like, "What do you notice?" And someone's going to be like, "Trump's racist." Yes. Someone else is going to be like, "He doesn't like Muslims." Correct.
Sure, why not?
Because he may not be insinuating anything.
It's Schrodinger's fascist.
Yep.
It's whatever you want him to be.
Wow.
Well, there were 19 countries, and Cuba was one of them, so I don't think it was like a black person attack.
But Cubans,
that's what you're insinuating.
Cubans are black in spirit.
They are melanitonian.
That's right.
Melatonin
Black in
is strong
spirit.
in those exposed to the sun.
Island
generation.
people, so they, I mean, I like the idea of tropical islands personally. So
Melanin. I said melatonin. It's melanin that
Yeah,
makes skin
melanin.
darker.
melatonin.
Melatonin that makes you fall
They gotta
asleep.
change those words so that they're not so similar. Sorry.
No, they don't have to change.
Maybe I just got to
that.
pay more attention.
It's a distinction that probably
I need some
you should pay
melanin in
attention
my
to.
life, man.
Yeah.
You ever
I
think
need
that?
melanin before I can fall asleep, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I was walking around outside today, so I got a little sun, but I don't think that really affects the melanin level in your skin. It just darkens your skin. So
Really?
I don't think you get more melanin when you get a tan.
Oh.
Let's see what David Packman has to say.
Yeah.
He said, what do we have here? I'm preparing to leave the country.
Oh, good.
1.5 million views. Oh, good.
Today?
It's last week.
Go live with Ellen.
Pac-Man.
It's so ridiculous. But I mean, again, we need to reduce the number of people that are in the United States, especially people that are here illegally.
I got to be honest. I'm close to being over it. What more needs to be said? Like, nothing is happening. Trump is not doing anything. Like, I could literally be watching, I don't know, Somalian soccer matches right now, and just eating a McDonald's cheeseburger, because this is whatever, right? Trump is doing a thing. What's the argument for it? When you look to liberals and Democrats, they're just vomiting on themselves. Like, you pull up the Krasensteins and they have no commentary on it. It's just, what did you notice?
They cry, "Oh, you're breaking up families. Oh, the people are getting sent away for nothing." Like, it's just
That's acceptable.
it's bullshit. Everything they say.
I'm just. My point is, there's no argument from the left anymore at all.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, I want to change the world. I want to make the world a better place. And I think that politics is just, that's not the way to do it. Not for me, but like, I think either economics, obviously politics is like a gatekeeper.
You'd have to get a
of economics.
haircut.
I've been
being
told that a
politics.
lot the last couple weeks, Chrissy. Okay,
I'm saying to
gonna
be in
listen.
politics.
But like art, yeah. I'm not gonna.
Well, maybe
button
not.
up
Look
to
at
try
Scott Pressler. So
and so like we won. I mean, I voted for Trump. Trump won. We got it. Why complain now? We have the chance to change the culture, and they're not going to stop us.
Like the complaints that we have are internal debates. Like right now, it's the Trump big beautiful bill, and I lean in favor of Trump on this one because you're looking at status quo omnibus stuff, which is bad, or Trump not being able to fulfill his agenda. And there are a lot of good things in it, like I want to buy suppressors, but it sucks. I get it. And that's kind of the debate right now. You've got a handful of holdouts, but Trump's probably going to win this one. But my point is, there's like it's Democrats don't exist anymore. It's just they don't matter. I'm hoping that in the next few months this can be solidified. But if the liberal response is, "Oh, Trump shouldn't," cause what do you think? It's like they don't even have a complaint anymore.
Yeah,
and David Pakman's going to leave the country. Good.
He can post YouTube videos from wherever.
I was in Toronto for 3 days. My clickbait title worked. Like that's his version of. I'm just joking, but maybe.
This is like actually. Can I show you another example? Like, here's another video. Completely disoriented Trump, visibly confused. Got 500,000 views. Like, I know I pick on the guy kind of a lot, but that's the point. There's nothing left for them to complain about. Trump's approval rating is 50-50. Let me just look at Trump's.
He's disoriented.
Trump's approval rating is good. It's just. I think the culture war is largely over. We win.
For now, because remember, they're part of the reason why we're in this. We got into the woke mess that we did is because the right had lost the culture war, the left had won, and really had just carte blanche to kind of shape society the way they however they thought was appropriate.
I feel like we won a local battle of the culture war, kind of like if I play this video game called Genghis Khan on the Sega Genesis. You start off in just Temujin's original territory, and you want to conquer all the little provinces. Then when you do it, it goes to the big world, and now you have an entire world. So look, we won our local culture war. We've unified essentially the United States in a lot of ways, but the rest of the world's still still at it. Like the Chinese want to infiltrate our subsystem. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I was interrupting you, but I was going to say, I suppose the question is then, maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. If Homeboy can get millions of followers on nonsense videos that mean nothing, and people on the right are kind of sitting back being like, we good, and not really paying attention anymore, then that's when the Democrats get their resurgence.
Not triggered by it.
Yeah, they don't need anything to motivate them. It's just pure hatred of Trump. They're deeply entrenched and watching these insane videos. Like, the reason I highlighted that video is there's no subject to it. It's just literally like, he may as well have typed.
It's our duty to create a world that people want to be in so that it continues this way, I think.
Donald Trump goes on Mount Rushmore. They should actually put a golden statue or golden face of him. So that way it's like the four as out. Like just, and then he's like the golden tooth on Mount
There's just one big golden head. Yeah. It's about, what is this? The stream?
The stream is down.
Our stream is not done.
There's F's in the chat.
Well, we're still rolling.
Okay.
Oh, the audio? They're not getting audio?
We're back. Okay, they're back.
That's YouTube. That's YouTube.
Welcome back.
All right.
Yep. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Guess what, guys? If you're watching on Rumble, there's apparently no issue, and if you're watching on YouTube, the audio dropped out.
Yeah, I guess audio dropped. It's been straight on Rumble the whole time.
For the win.
I don't know.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, sorry, YouTube.
No audio?
That's so weird. People are saying F, the audio's in and out.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine with me. Yeah, people on Rumble are saying there's literally no issue.
Yeah.
Hey guys, sorry, it looks perfect for me. I don't know what to tell you. It's
I am sitting here I have two monitors and I'm monitoring the stream in every capacity, bit rate.
Yeah, nothing's happened. Yeah. It's been the same, so sorry guys.
Look at that. Hey, there's big news.
Audio's back, Kellen says. What were you saying, Tim? You're about to say something
crazy.
Cool.
I was making so many smart points. It's so bad that you guys missed all of them.
No, you explained the equation.
Something weird's going on, too. We just jumped them. We had a huge spike in viewers as well. Very weird.
I didn't even have to take a boob out.
I was going to say, like, we talked about these liberals and how all their videos are just a screenshot of Donald Trump and it says something stupid like angry Trump farts in public or something. And then it's just, it's not at all true. And then it's just them ranting. And then I went through our videos for like IRL and it's just basically the news. Like whatever the news was, it's often Trump, but sometimes it's not. I'm just wondering if you guys think that these people, how do they feel about themselves,
Yeah, it's like they're being put in a straitjacket, put in a wheelbarrow, and just being like carted off, like, like to the loony bin. It's like, bye. They're just not making sense anymore. And everyone's like, all right.
But I mean, like, do you think David Pakman wakes up and then cries a little bit and then starts making another video for the day about some nonsense about Trump that makes no sense?
Maybe. Yeah, it's like they just lost on so many levels and they have to really seriously regroup. Who do they have to lead the party? Jasmine Crockett?
No, I'm saying, like, Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman literally only make videos where it's a screenshot of Trump and then it says, Trump looks crazy. And they make 17 versions of it every day. There's no story. There's nothing there. And I'm wondering if, like, because if I would feel, I'd quit. I'd just quit. I'd be like, I would rather live in a van down by the river.
It's like a self-loathing that comes along with promoting art you don't believe in as an actor, as a model. Like, it is a pretty dirty feeling. If they know, like, if David Pakman understands the liberal economic order, if he truly understands it, I feel like he's going to wake up and be angry at himself. But if he doesn't get it, he's probably just living in blissful ignorance.
Yeah. They just really don't have anything.
I mean, look, there is an ebb and flow to the political, content game, and I think that most of them probably understand that now is a bad time to be a Democrat. Obviously, not only have they lost, but they don't have anybody that's really kind of carrying the flag and saying this is where we're going to go as a party. The far left has really, globbed onto some really terrible things. There are these terror attacks that are going to be something that the left has got to come up with some kind of answer for, or else they're going to be painted rightly as pro these terror acts by the Republicans.
Let's jump to this next story. We got a tweet. I don't know who this guy is who tweeted this, but it's a crazy clip where David Portnoy was arguing with one of his employees. Portnoy turns red with rage and screams, "How many MFing Jews have to be killed before you stop?" An insane meltdown after threatening an employee's job for suggesting Jew jokes shouldn't result in prison time. So here's the clip. It's pretty wild.
If you just want me to kick him out, not mention it, not care that this kid is anti-Semitic, shut up. If you just want me to ignore it.
Don't tell me to shut up.
Shut the fuck up, you bald fuck.
Okay, go ahead.
How's that?
Oh, it's kill. I'll never recover from that, Dave. Go ahead, continue. I'll never recover.
Well, you're the one who big boss man, don't tell. I'll tell you work for me.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
You little bitch, you work for me.
Sure, you bet. For now,
oh, you
continue.
Don't? For now, quit. I don't care. Is
this a show or not a show? Like, is it a show or not a show? Like, we can't have a conversation?
You're an idiot.
Okay, continue.
You're literally saying people should be allowed to make Jew jokes, say whatever they want right fucking now.
Yes, I think people should be allowed to make jokes.
So how many motherfucking Jews have to be killed before you stop?
Stop what?
If you just want me to...
What I will say right off the bat is, if I ever worked at a company and the dude who ran the company said it to me, I'd be like, okay, I quit. Bye. Like, hey, clearly you're happy. I'm happy. He said quit. What do I care? It's like, okay.
That would be a big balls move.
Adios.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who approach their work relationship as if, like, the way Dave wants them to view him. Like, he's the boss and he can do whatever he wants and you better get on your fucking knees. Nah, you shouldn't work for a boss like that.
But he's making $500K a year. Maybe.
Is that what he said in the video?
Yeah, he said, I'll save.
Yeah, I'll save 500,000. Is fine, quit. I'll save 500,000.
Can you have a conversation?
You're an idiot.
Okay,
you're literally saying
before this.
Yeah, like right before that.
No, I think
for now, quit. I don't care. I'll save $500,000.
Okay. I'll save $500,000.
Yeah. I like Dave because I like him that he's very charismatic and throws money at people. Like, I've always appreciated that about him. Like, he was actually saying live, his ex-wife still has access to his bank account, and he just lets her. He's like, I trust her. She's my friend. I trust her. But, like, I don't know if she's married to someone new. Is he still going to let her have access to his bank account if she gets married? I don't know.
Only to buy pizzas.
And, like, she's never betrayed him. So maybe if she took 98% of his money, he'd take her access away and sue her. I don't know. But then you see this side of him where he doesn't have it together. Dave, like,
well, here's
picture myself telling him this and him being like, "What the fuck are you? You're fucking nobody." And I'm like, "Geez, like this kind of guy, you know."
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Dave had a club. Someone who worked there held up a sign saying "F the Jews." He got roasted for it. It probably put his contracts in jeopardy. He probably had a bunch of advertisers being like, "Dude, we don't know or care whatever this is about. We just don't want it to bleed onto us." And so he's got a big headache because some stupid low-level nobody server or whatever at a club is now putting multi-million-dollar contracts in question. So he's on high alert. He then comes out trying to do damage control, being like, it's really bad. You shouldn't say this about Jews. This is how cancel culture happens. Now, the question of jokes about Jews comes up, and he has to double down. The reason why he's so angry is because I'll tell you what he's actually angry about. He's angry about how he's like, I don't want to be involved in whatever this stuff is that is damaging my business. He can't say that. So when it's like, can we make jokes? He's like, no. He's mad because he's the guy, he's the boss, and he's taking a lot of heat over all of this Jew joke stuff. That's why he's going to scream at people and tell them to quit.
And he has to go the righteous route of like, how many have to die?
It's the only route to go.
When really it's
What's he gonna
bottom line?
Imagine if he said, how many contracts do I got to lose because you dumbasses want to make these jokes? I'd respect him more if he said that.
Yeah.
If he came out and said, your stupid jokes cause companies we work with to not want to work with us, so I'll fire you right now before I lose that contract, I'd be like,
that makes sense.
Okay, I get it.
That's a different story. That's pure business, understandable at least.
I understand that more than, oh, you can never make jokes.
Yeah, like trying to tell someone to shut up because you're paying them is like horrible in the age of internet video where you're having shows, telling your host of your show to shut up. Like, talk about self-sabotage.
Dude, who's the guy on the right? What's his name?
He's a Dan Bongino stunt double.
We should find out. This guy needs to
Laconia?
promote that mother.
What's the guy's name?
I don't know.
All I know is
Brock would know.
I think he should have quit on the spot.
Like taking the heat of the
That would be cool.
Used while the iron was hot. Strike while the iron is super
not even.
hot.
Just maintain a little bit of dignity.
Dignity.
But homeboy, if 500K is all it takes to get you to drop to your knees, then that's fine too, I guess. It's a lot of money.
He's got that mortgage payment.
There's a lot of, for real, there's a lot of people who are probably going to be like, Dave Portnoy. Look, I post in the chat. Let's see. Post a one if you would take $500,000 to let Dave Portnoy yell at you like that. Post a two if you wouldn't do it. I bet a lot of people would say, hell yeah. Like Portnoy can give me a spanking for $500,000.
Been yelled at for a lot less.
Yeah, right. So, I get why the dude's not going to walk off if he's getting paid $500,000 a year.
Yeah, but he
$41,000 a month.
Yeah, and especially the abrupt loss of that would be the rudest part of it.
That's crazy to me. That kind of money. Like, what do you don't got to do anything anymore.
Life changing. Wow.
Yeah.
Just invest.
What?
You don't got to do that either.
Maybe he's got kids in private school though. Maybe he's like,
He's got an expensive New York condo or something, wherever he's based out of.
all these razors to shave his head.
I don't know. I've quit a lot of jobs for less.
You have scruples.
There's something very freeing about walking out of an abusive relationship, whether it's
I don't know. I mean,
or what else.
My view of things was always more like a trade deal, not an employment thing. So when I got a job at a company, I wasn't looking at it like, I work for you, please don't hurt me. I looked at it like, I'll do this for you in exchange for that.
Yeah, you're.
And then if you got, so like if they said you work for me, I'll be like, no, you work for me. And I'll explain why. If I was his host, I'd be like, Dave, no, you work for me. This is what you do. I have a show. I have a show. I have a show. You run the ads for it and then send me the money that pays for my life so I can continue to do that show. You are the one who's running the business side of things for me so I can have a show. Now, if at any point you and I have a mutual disagreement on how that business should operate, either of us can sever.
Woo.
I started looking at...
Got another massive breaking news?
I don't know how big it is. President Trump orders AG Pam Bondi to launch a full investigation into Biden auto pen scandal,
that's
as
old
any
news.
cover-ups related to his health.
I believe that was yesterday or the day before.
I started taking with jobs and like employees and stuff. I started taking on the mindset of I'm working with the owner. Like I might be an employee. Yeah, not for you. I'm working with you to make this company great. We're both going to get paid, even if you own 100% of it. We're still working together to make this great. And then I started to become friends with the ownership when I thought like that. And that was
He's a big ego, and he's very famous. So it's like, yeah, it comes down to how much ego does your boss have.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've had a bunch of people that have worked for me and stuff, but talking to people like that, it just doesn't work unless, I mean, 500 grand's a lot of money, yeah, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see a lot of people sticking around being treated like that.
But also, how often is this happening too? Yeah,
like it's a question of this dude who works for Dave for, he's getting 41. If it's 500 flat, he's getting 41,667 per month. The guy might not actually be worth it. If it's like if Dave is paying this guy a large sum of money because Dave's a nice guy and just wants him to have a lot of money, then you're going to be like, I'm sorry, Dave.
And it's almost like that amount of money flew out of Dave's mouth so quickly. It's almost like he had that on like top of his mind, like what this guy. So as this guy is increasingly pissing him off, he's like, I could be saving this much money.
Yeah, I wonder.
Well, let's actually get to the root of this. How many Jews have to be killed before you stop joking? I got to be honest. I don't think there's any amount of people who will die from any group that would stop any amount of jokes from happening.
That's true.
Like, there are jokes about Neanderthals.
Yeah, I thought the guy
How
was
many
going to...
Neanderthals have to die before you stop joking?
I thought
they're all dead, and we still joke about
I
them.
thought his response was going to be all of them. And I would be like, well, that's still a joke, you know? And
I mean, that's a meme that gets, put on the internet a lot. It's like, how many children have to die before you'll be okay with gun control? And the response is always all of them.
All of
How many
them.
children have to die before we can stop abortion?
Hey, by the way, this guy's name is Kirk Minihane.
Oh, the joke is how many children have to die before you're okay with gun control? All of them, because then we won't need the guns anymore.
Yeah.
That's a joke, by the way. This is what these people don't understand. Here's the thing. I know Dave gets jokes. That's why my view of this is that he's actually frustrated because he probably got a bunch. Let me tell you something. You guys remember when Dave sold Barstool to Penn Entertainment?
Yeah.
He was going online and he was like, Penn stock is the thing. It's going to be so great. He sold Barstool to Penn, and then Penn Entertainment sold it back to him for $1. The reason why was because Barstool was edgy. And so, like, our local casino, Charlestown Races, the sports bar, like the sports book where they do sports betting in the restaurant, was called Barstool. And it was crazy to see when they built it because it took a really long time to build. And they finalized this deal, and they immediately begged Dave to buy it back because state regulators were pulling gaming licenses from Penn Entertainment because of what Barstool was saying and doing.
Wow.
And Penn was like, we're not doing this, just a media company. And they were like, so they fired Mincy because he rapped the N-word. Dave then hired him back for a different company, which was pretty great. Good job on Dave's part. And then they eventually said, buy the company back. He said no. And then they agreed to give him the company back for $1.
Wow.
Dude got $500 million for free.
Yep.
Because all the heat they were taking by being associated with Barstool. Because of the Jew jokes that happened within his company, he's probably feeling that exact same kind of heat. Companies that have advertisements are probably going, morality clause, we're going to cancel our $10 million contract with you guys because of what your employees... I bet he lost a lot of money off that thing. And so now he's just like, stop making the jokes! And he has no justification for it.
Yeah,
other than it's hurting him personally in his business.
The anti-Semitism laws, I have not been paying deep attention to all of them, but I heard that they passed. Like, I know if you're not a citizen and you make an anti-Semitic statement on campus or something, they can deport you now.
Well, again, the situation is visa holders are not citizens. So if you're here on a visa and you are making anti-American, and apparently there have been people that have been picked up for saying anti-Israel or anti-Jew stuff. So you can get picked up, but again, these people are not citizens, so the process is not the same thing as trying to, strip someone of their citizenship and send them to another country.
I bet they did not see that coming.
Wow.
We make jokes with Elad all the time, and Elad makes the jokes too. He was joking about being the Israeli correspondent for Timcast. He's called himself like the resident Jew or whatever.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He calls himself an annoying Jew, and it's just like...
He's got the self-depreciation on lock.
But it's like
how to do it.
When we make jokes with him, or like literally like Asian jokes or whatever it might be, it's because it's meant to be critical and make fun of the people who hate Jews or hate Mexicans or hate black people or whatever.
I think humor. They say human and humor, like it is. They are interwoven. That HUM prefix. It is, like you said earlier, 99.9% of the population of Earth could die, and people would still make jokes. That's never going to stop. Humor is never going to go away.
Yeah, that's what equality is. No group is so special that they should be exempt from ridicule.
On Family Guy, they rescued a talking cow from a meat processing plant, and when they talked to the cow, he said the plant was called Decow. And they went, Holocaust joke, we get it. But they literally were making the Holocaust joke, and then the groaning at the Holocaust joke as a secondary joke on top of it. Yes. And that's on major network TV.
Yep. And before the show, obviously, Robert Downey Jr., the way that they all looked at him in blackface in Tropic Thunder, but the other actors were like, the other characters knew how bizarre it was that a guy was in blackface on set.
That movie's so good.
So Dave should have embraced this by being like, do you know what these Jew jokes are holocausting me? And then that would have eased the tension.
They would have laughed.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is where cancel culture comes from. Dave is running a big company with tons of employees and an insane number of contracts. And I guarantee you, there's some like soda company. And they go to Dave and they go, hey, look, man, like we think the jokes are funny too. We don't care. But we just lost like 7% of our sales from people complaining about this. We're getting slammed with emails. We don't want to be advertising on your platform anymore. It's nothing personal, man. And then he's like, what the? I just lost $5 million contract because of this stupid guy. Man, I got to tell you, what he must be feeling when some dumb, low-level $10 an hour employee put that sign up saying F the Jews, and then Dave lost $10 million or something because of it.
You know that's what
I'd
he's
be pissed
thinking
too.
about, because that's why he fired off how much money that guy makes, because I could save $500K if I just, fire you.
Indeed.
Quit.
All right, well, let's jump to this next story. We got this from ABC News. Karine Jean-Pierre has left the Democratic Party after serving in Biden's broken White House.
Wow.
She's been vague about why she no longer identifies as a Democrat. Well, all I can say is, the party is cooked.
Yeah.
They are cooked. That's it.
It feels like mitosis, like in that the Republican Party expanded and now is splitting in half. And you've got the MAGA and the old guard, Republican. You've got almost two parties. And this other party has gotten smaller and shrunk because it's been starving out of attention. People are less attentive to it. And so it's very small now. And you've got these two larger segments of culture that are like both Republican, it feels like. Now, I'm not saying that this is from my bubble, this is the way I'm seeing it, because I'm sure that this party's still got a lot going on. But that's what it seems like is happening.
I loved her in Get Out. Maybe she'll go back to acting.
Tell me more.
I never saw that movie.
No, it's this other black actress. I forget her name.
Oh, well.
Looks like Karine. Got her hair.
Yeah. She's like bald sometimes.
I think this is a publicity stunt.
Chat
She's got a new
knows.
book.
I don't think it's publicity. I think it's because the Democrat brand is so damaged.
She might be like Jen Psaki.
But this is
like a news
Jen Psaki
contributor
gave
job.
her the okay. Like she did the whole
Yeah.
this is the one.
So, like, when will there be the final reckoning for the liberals who are just like Orange Man bad? The Democratic Party has no leadership.
Yeah.
They have no policies. It was funny, when I talked to Bill Maher, I said they have no policies. He's like, I think they do, the most important of which is they accept elections. And I was thinking to myself, like, that's not a policy.
That's not a policy.
He's just saying he doesn't like Trump. So she's leaving the party. They've got what? When polled, 16% of people said Democrats are the party that can get it done. 19 when asked, are there strong leaders in which party? Only 19% said the Democratic Party. They don't have any leaders. But then you've got these liberal personalities that are trying to cut deals with this Project Sam or whatever it is. They got Democrats got so many secret projects. Searchlight, Wildflower Sam. I'm not kidding.
Mm-hmm. Blue Beam.
But is that a real one?
I don't know.
That's an old one of mind control.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay. Democrats have serious. I'm not kidding. Project Sam, Searchlight, and Wildflower.
What are they?
Are the names of Democrat special operations? They're calling it, where they're trying to find the next liberal Joe Rogan or something.
Oh, wow.
Or a liberal Joe Rogan. So I'm just wondering, like, at what point does the machine break? Like, can you really sell ads to a group of people that literally watch nothing but Orange Man bad videos all day, every day?
No, not maybe for 3 more years, but then you're done. So no, I don't think so. It'll probably be a slow, subtle cultural shift, like subconscious shift in people, and then like a shuddering, and then all of a sudden, complete renegotiation of perception, of focus. People will be completely focused on something new, almost as if this never happened.
Yeah, maybe they'll run Booty Gang.
Politically, you mean?
Yeah, the way humanity just changes so abruptly. It could be an external threat could cause people to change. Like they have no choice to save their own lives. They have to support the government or something.
Well, okay, so now you're in hypotheticals. I'm wondering why you sounded like you were, you kind of had put thought into the thing that was leading up to that.
The way people wake up slowly and then abruptly.
The abrupt change. I'm wondering what the abrupt change is going to be.
It's like when you critical mass, like enough people all of a sudden, and then it just completely shifts.
I get the process you're saying. I'm saying, what do you think that change is going to be?
Songs, music. I think people are going to subconsciously hear songs that are going to change the way they see reality. Psalms.
Oh,
Songs.
I thought you said songs.
Songs, yeah, music.
What kind of music?
Of course,
Good,
he's
loving
talking
rock
about
and
like
roll, man.
just guitar music, hippie music.
Oh,
You
okay.
can only listen to it barefoot.
Hand holding, shoeless.
Oh, music that makes you want to break something.
Ian music.
Yeah, music that makes you learn something. Music that
Bizkit.
makes you cry. What?
Limp Bizkit.
Stuff like that. Yeah,
I love Limp
real
Now you're
humans
talking.
writing
Woodstock.
emotional.
Now I'm invested. Let's
go,
Keep going. Tell me what you're
Let's
talking
do
about.
harmonies on A Million to One. They're gonna sound good.
I think I was talking about this the other day, but I think there's a really great market opportunity right now to craft a narrative that gives Democrats an escape route, because the whole woke thing is really, really bad. And so, here's what I was getting to with where's the off ramp for these people. These YouTubers that I bring up quite a bit have spiraled into the CNN route, right? CNN went from the most trusted name in news, so they claimed, to literally just talking about Trump. They realized that error a long time ago, and they've been trying to claw their way back for some time, and it's failed. Now they got Scott Jennings. They're trying to have some kind of balance. But what happens when the whole world moves on, but there are these other people that keep doubling down in the Trump narrative? Like, sooner or later, the bubble pops. And then what happens to them?
They look for new outlets. Jen Psaki they'll come on shows like this. Chris Cuomo.
Jen Psaki's ratings are like 7,000 or something?
Really?
Really bad.
You know,
It was 17,000, I think. Let me check.
Kind of like, see how they demonized Elon? I think it'll just be like, now he's kind of out of the picture. It's like, it'll be whoever's next. Like, once Trump's out of office, they'll do TDS on whoever else is coming up. Like, they'll have JD Vance TDS.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
agree with you.
78,000. Okay.
That's viewers per night.
Key demo.
They'll be like, Orange Vance bad.
But she's getting 971,000 viewers that are 70 years and older.
They're going to die soon, though.
You know what's really funny? Like, if Jen Psaki did a tour, it would have to be near nursing homes.
The Circle Back tour.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go.
All the venues would be like nursing homes.
Yeah.
I don't get
I just saw that movie, that Steve Carell magician movie from 2012 or whatever.
I don't know.
I forgot what it was called. Yeah. Burt Wonderstone. There you go.
Oh, yes. All right.
He ends up getting his contract from Bally's pulled or whatever. So then he goes and does magic at a nursing home because he's desperate and he's broke. He spent all his money on dumb things. That's what I imagine Jen Psaki doing, or like Rachel Maddow.
She's not getting a lot of people watching her show, that's for sure. It surprises me that Jen Psaki, was able to even, coronate Karine Jean-Pierre. I guess that's the information that I got, that she kind of really was the person that picked her out. But like, to have that kind of influence in DC and not be able to have any kind of audience outside of DC, like the fact that no one watches, Jen Psaki's show outside of the old people and stuff. It's surprising that she had that position that she had in the Democrat Party was powerful enough to actually say, no, this is the person that should replace me.
Look, this is my black friend.
Picked
I have
a
one.
terrible person, and then still goes on to have a show on MSNBC.
So, to be fair, I guess, MSNBC published 40 videos today.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. So, I guess, quantity over quality is the MSNBC name of the game. I mean, some of these have no views. Some of them have a good amount of views, 144K.
The top two thumbnails, both of them, Trump and Musk in there with Ari Melber.
Well, look, Trump and Musk, Trump and Musk, Trump and Musk, Trump and Musk, Trump and Musk.
Musk and Trump.
Wow.
That's the key.
Holy crap. Take a look. Wait, hold on. Trump, not Trump. Trump, not Trump. Trump, RFK, Hegseth, Trump.
Trump's like a Trump.
This one is Trump, but he's on the thumbnail. Yo, MSNBC is the exact same thing. Yo, this is wild. Man, it's not even news.
It's not.
This makes me want to make Fortnite videos. I got to be honest. I'm really tempted to just be like, Timcast IRL, there's going to be 4 people sitting around playing Minecraft.
It's super important to tell the world what's happening. This is a great show for that. But I agree with you. Some cultural breakthrough, like something in addition to talking about Trump. Because, I think the big, beautiful bill, first of all, let's stop. What a ridiculous term. It's an omnibus.
It's
the
big
omnibus.
boned.
Yeah. And everybody that we've had on the show, essentially that's talked about it, has acknowledged how ridiculously stupid omnibus bills are and that we shouldn't be doing them. So vote against it for that alone. Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't even read the thing and voted for it. Now it's going to the Senate with some clause in it that says the states can't govern their own laws on AI for the next 10 years.
Oh.
Saying, so what, we're just going to give over to the technocracy? Is that what you want, Trump?
But I can have suppressors, Ian.
They're giving you a little feed. They want you to come across the line and push the
they're
button.
unrelated. I do think they're unrelated. The AI stuff and these suppressors.
Unrelated, yeah.
I think they're unrelated.
They're just trying to
they're
get
the same
a little
bill.
bit to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But right, it's like they're trying to trick the chickens into coming out. And you're living your 15-minute city, and they're sprinkling the seed on the ground, and the chickens are all running out, and they're like hoping you click the button.
Yeah, man.
But here's the problem. I challenge you this, Ian. Trump wants his agenda to be complete. So that's why he's saying, do an omnibus, I'll get everything I want. The problem is Congress is broken. In order to get those agenda items through, they have to compromise with all the members of Congress, and then everybody puts in their pork and bloat. Trump then says, if we don't pass this, I don't accomplish my agenda. If he doesn't, Democrats regain control, and then we will never get reforms. So my view right now is I am trusting in Donald Trump and the populist right and the Republicans to have control right now so they can succeed in their agenda over the next 6 years so that Democrats don't regain power and then remove all of the changes Trump made. So let me put it this way. I view it like this. The omnibus bill is bad, but it is largely status quo. So I cringe at it, but we do this every couple of years. It's just bad again. But if Trump wins, we actually have some very serious reforms in the Trump administration, such as the DOGE cuts, which are being wiped out by the mass spending. But I mean like USAID getting shut down and principally this and the other institutions, the shuttering of the DOE. I want Trump to continue that operation. If Trump loses, Democrats will come in. They'll bring USAID back tenfold. They'll refund everything that was cut. And then they will make sure Trump and the populists can never win again.
You said
Scary.
You said they cut the DOE? They ran cuts of the DOE?
Trump ordered, signed an executive order calling for the dismantling of the Department of Education.
Wow.
That was a while
I
ago,
thought
bro.
it was Department of Energy for some reason.
No. Department of Education.
Energy.
Yeah. Well, right. I don't know that throwing $5 trillion at Trump necessarily makes something happen. I just don't. I didn't read the bill. It's 1,100 pages. It's 1,100 pages.
You didn't
1,116.
Read the whole bill. Nobody read the whole bill.
I skimmed it.
Yeah.
You know, Cliff Notes.
Using AI to
Bullet
tell you.
points.
Yeah, there's and Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, I didn't read that. I didn't know.
At first, I was pissed off at Marjorie. So I was like, what a sham. And then I realized, you know what? I don't think any of them read it. She's just the only one being honest.
No, how could you read 1,000 pages in a day?
Freakish.
Can't. No one.
Well,
read
to
it.
be fair, I think 1,000 you probably could read in one whole day.
Like, it's not sedition, but it feels treasonous to do that to your Congress, to do that to your people. Like none of them should be voting on something they didn't read.
There you go.
I agree. Should be a crime.
Yeah.
I wish, but that's the way that Congress works now.
And the way people can vote for a candidate that they have no idea who it is, they're allowed.
Yeah. I mean, it's terrible. It's part of the reason why I don't think that we should have universal enfranchisement. Like the people that don't pay attention, like what do they care? If they're not paying attention, if they're not listening to what the actual candidates say, or worse, they listen to what the candidates say and they say, I don't think they'll do that. You know, or I think,
man,
which is something that a lot of people were telling me when it was back when it was Hillary and Trump.
Let me just say, I work so hard every day. And then I look at what MSNBC does, and I look at these other liberal YouTubers, and I'm like, every morning I come in, and we got Tate. He starts the day now. We hired him recently, and he's been doing news production so that I can come in, and we have a list of like top trending news. I then go in, like the first thing I do when I wake up is I'm reading the news, and I'm trying to figure out like what are the big stories, what's happening in the world. What's the top issue? So like yesterday morning, it was Ukraine, the strikes they launched on Russia, huge news. I would love it if all I had to do was walk in at 8 o'clock and go, what time? It was 8. Can I get my coffee? Roll camera. Trump is so bad. Did you see how bad he was? He's the worst. We're good. Okay, roll it. 500,000 views. Bang. That's 10 grand in my pocket from one sponsor read. And all you got to do is say Trump sucks over and over and over again. Man, these people, they figured it out. David Pakman, he's like, listen, why work? Work smart. Just say you hate Trump and you'll be rich.
It's a Dire Straits song.
Like use fear to sell tickets.
Black pill.
We were doing that on Minds in the early days, 2011, 2012, because we were making blogs on Facebook and noticed that we talked about this before. Like keywords would be real. They would catch fire. Black people, police violence, whatever, these terms, this racist crap. So we were making blogs that would get hits. And then I'd be like, well, let's do something about technology. Some cool, and it didn't get any views. They're like, no. More racism, more hate. And I'm like, well, we're selling tickets. So if I don't do this, the company might go under. And then Boston bombing happened. And they were like, Ian, sell it. Sell the fear. And I'm like, I'm done.
We got it. This is why I keep saying, like, we need the sketch comedy crew. Like, we need a team here to make the videos. Because I just want to make a video where it's like inside MSNBC, and it's like, and it's like they're in the production room, and it has the background audio of Star Trek: The Next Generation, like, and then it's like they have a picture of Trump, and he's like, increased power, orange level 7, and he's like cranking the meter up, and Trump's getting brighter, and it's like, I can't do it, Captain. Yeah, and then and it blows up because they make Trump too orange. We have to do it.
Cheetos everywhere.
Cheeto dust. Let's jump to this next story and talk about things that actually matter. We got this from the BBC. Putin will seek revenge for Ukraine drone attack, warns Trump. Did you guys hear about this one? Over the course of 18 months, Ukraine had been loading drones into trucks that were being dispatched all over Russia. And then all at once, the roofs flipped over, drones launched in the air, and then bombed Russia's nuclear fleet. So they're bomber jets, they're bomber planes or whatever. Jets.
Did we give them the drones?
No. And Ukraine intentionally kept the U.S. in the dark. So while Trump and the United States are trying to negotiate a peace deal, Ukraine launched a drone strike on the Russian nuclear fleet, to which Russia is now vowing revenge. I would argue U.S. should cut off Ukraine 100% after this.
Yeah, I think Zelensky's looking for a ceasefire. He made a video almost immediately.
Yeah, now.
Talking for a ceasefire.
Yeah, here you go. Here's the video.
He looks like a kid with his hand
My
caught
proposal
in a jar of
we offer,
cookies.
which I believe our partners can support, is that we propose to the Russians a ceasefire until the leaders meet.
This is fake. This guy is evil. Look, I don't like Vladimir Putin. I think Putin is a despotic scumbag. I think he's a bad guy. Okay, fine. Zelensky is also a bad guy. He launched a strike on Russia, planned over a year and a half, did not tell the United States as we were trying to negotiate peace and a ceasefire. After the strike, he then says we should propose a ceasefire. Why? Because it can't happen now. He made sure of it. He destroyed U.S. negotiations. He inflamed the conflict. Russia will now retaliate. And he's going to say, but we were calling for a ceasefire and Russia attacked us. And then go to the Democrats in this country, and they're going to be like, we have to give Ukraine more money. I say cut them off 100%.
Oh,
yeah.
I think you're right.
Do you think the Biden people knew about this?
Yes. Yeah, I think Poso was tweeting about it. Something like former Biden people had met with him, and then like a week later, the strike happened. It's also, guess what? I'm going to put it simple. Keep it simple. Actually, I'm going to pull it up because all the sycophants. So Germany warrant Ukraine Nordstream. Got to bring it up. People don't believe me. They say Temple was paid by Russia, which is fake news. Germany seeks Ukrainian suspect in Nord Stream pipeline sabotage, reports say. Let me lay it down for you. Germany was buying energy from Russia. Germany is our ally. Ukraine is not. A Ukrainian diving instructor bombed, according to Germany, the Nord Stream pipeline, cutting off their access to natural gas. That is an attack on a NATO ally. If it is true, what Germany is saying, that it was a Ukrainian diving instructor who bombed Nord Stream and then fled to Ukraine, and they're not turning him over, wouldn't that trigger Article 5 and make Ukraine an enemy of this country for which we would be at war with?
Seems simple. Yeah.
Technically, yeah. But I think that the NATO funded the destruction of the pipeline. I don't know.
Germany issued an arrest warrant. Okay? So maybe NATO went behind Germany's back, and then we got a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
But the fact remains right now, on the surface, August 14th, 2024, the reporting is a Ukrainian diving instructor named Volodymyr Z, of all names, bombed the Nord Stream pipeline. A warrant has been issued for his arrest, and he fled to Ukraine, where he's been ever since.
That sounds like a psyop.
the insinuation, the allegation is that this was a Ukrainian-directed attack on the Nord Stream pipeline because Russia was profiting off of the trade deal with Europe and utilizing those resources to wage war on Ukraine. Or at the very least, it was bolstering their economy. Ukraine bombed the Nord Stream pipeline to damage the Russian economy by severing Russia and Europe. The argument is that Europe doesn't want full-scale war with Russia because we get energy from them. Ukraine was invaded and wants the Europe to go nuts on Russia. So blow up the gas pipeline, cut off that trade deal, and sever trade ties, increasing the likelihood of war. If that allegation is correct, I'm just saying if, Ukraine attacked a NATO ally, a NATO supply line, Germany is a NATO ally, and the U.S. should retaliate for that.
Yeah, at the very least, cut them off.
Exactly. We should say, you are cut off. We're not giving you anything anymore. And now you've got the drone strike amid Trump's peace negotiations.
Yeah, it's almost frenetic or like
antagonistic.
The way our two administrations have dealt with this war, this conflict is like almost it's psychotic. It's what's that word? The worst sort of mental derangement you can have, the worst sort of mental illness you can have. It starts with an S. I don't know, but
being liberal?
Schizophrenia.
Yeah, it's like schizophrenic. Our government's military policy,
worst mental illness.
Maybe not the worst, but
sociopathy.
It's stuff like that. It's been behaving psychopathically towards the Ukrainians because at first we're their allies. We're probably funded the bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline, made up some fictitious Ukrainian named Vladimir Z to make a freakish point.
Volodymyr.
It's literally
Zelensky's name.
That's a Volodya baloney.
That sounds like they made up a fake thing to be like, we got you. Like, ha ha ha. They do that kind of thing in the cult when they're at the top like that. They'll try and they'll use that meme magic. And then the new administration comes into office like, we're done. We don't want this war anymore. So now we're almost like, our enemy is Ukraine because they're the one that broke up the peace deal that was trying to prevent World War III. It's like they want World War III. We have to stop them. That's where we're at right now.
So I don't think that they want World War III. I do think that they want the United States to be more assertive, and I don't think that the United States has the interest to do that. Like I think your average person is incredibly over this. They don't want anything to do with the war in Ukraine. It's not our war. We don't have treaties with either of these people. It's not our business. And I think that that's the opinion of most Americans.
He's short. He's not cute. He didn't dress up for the White House. I'm over it.
Yeah, too much coke. Think he does a lot of coke? I think he does a lot of coke. Wait,
I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't even think you need to have those.
Ian would know.
Yeah, no point in judging. Coke's nasty. Don't do coke.
I actually don't know.
God, it's awful.
I think that the American people are sick and tired of with all of the stuff that went on with the Biden administration, all the talk of corruption and stuff like that. The American people know that it's not. It's not a winning bet for us to continue to support this. The rest of Europe can, and they might have to, or they might want to, because that, Russia directly affects them. But the Atlantic Ocean says we don't have to care.
This is like, 2 weeks ago they tried to assassinate Putin, the Ukrainians?
Yep, drone strikes.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks later they blow up their fleet. How many ships got blown up? I don't have any of the numbers on
I have no idea.
Yeah,
you talking about in the drone attack here?
Yeah.
I heard it was something like 40.
40 ships got blown up.
30 or 40. You're talking about,
Did they sink their battleship?
No, I don't know. I don't even know if they have battleships. But I'm talking about the airplanes, not the actual ships. I'm talking about naval ships.
There were like 24 videos. They said they have more of them, but everyone's saying like Russia said like 7. They showed videos with proof of 24 being damaged, but they said they have more. So it could be they claimed 40. So
the Russians claimed that 40 of their boats were destroyed or damaged.
Ukraine claimed it.
I think the attack, the drone strikes, show that Ukraine has lost the war. This is insurgency. When an occupying force takes over a country, what do you end up seeing? Sabotage. So it's like, how does, in a ground war that is not utilizing Russia's nuclear fleet, how does bombing them help Ukraine? They're trying to, the idea is to create damage, hurt public support by attacking them inside their country and making people upset about it. It's just going to be used by Russia as more cause for war. So it didn't really serve any active purpose. I suppose taking out their nuclear fleet, if there is a fear of an expanded war, makes sense. But that's indicative of the Ukrainians acknowledging they've lost the territory that Russia has invaded. Otherwise, they'd be launching these strikes in that territory and reclaiming it. Not, like, let's be honest. But striking inside of Russia does not help them reclaim their territory in any way. It's political. It can have political ramifications, but it's not going to aid them on the front lines.
Yeah, people just, it's a feel-good thing. Most of the people that are happy about it, they're like, yeah, get the socket to Russia and blah, blah, blah. But like Tim says, it didn't change anything material on the ground.
I feel like you got to end this limited war. You got to end.
Trump is trying to, and Ukraine's undermining him.
It seemed like Putin was interested in ending it.
Putin's not interested in going to the...
Is Putin mad at us?
Yeah, of course.
He had a call with Trump. They did a call today, I think, or yesterday.
Yeah. And Putin was like, nope, I'm retaliating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump must be pissed.
Oh, I would be so mad.
He's been trying to negotiate peace. He wanted the war to end. He's broken this promise. He said the war be over the moment he got elected, and he didn't do it. And Zelensky's going behind his back to inflame tensions while he's trying to negotiate peace. That's evil, man.
I know.
I don't think that Putin has much incentive to negotiate peace. He's in a position where, like, everything for him is all like upside now. The United States doesn't want to give any, the American people don't want to continue to fund Ukraine. Ukraine's not gaining any ground. They managed to, bloody his nose, but that's all it was. They didn't change anything. And I don't see a future where, Crimea gets back to Ukraine control. Like, that's not happening. I don't think that the Russians are giving up any of the territory they have now.
Especially after they bombed the Kerch Bridge. Russia's going to go to the negotiating table with Trump, and they're going to say, no, we're not giving up any of the land bridge we've built through these oblasts because they're already bombing Kerch Bridge. Sorry.
Yeah.
And Trump's going to be like, well, you have to. And they're like, nope, then war. Off the table.
They're not going to, it's not happening.
I think Ukraine's trying to escalate the war. Trump is negotiating peace. What do? Go behind Trump's back and bomb a nuclear fleet inside of Russia. No peace deal. Then, a few days later, they bomb the Kerch Bridge, which connects the Russian mainland to Crimea. So they're basically saying to Russia, if you give up any territory, you will have no access to Crimea. We'll take it all back from you. So Russia has no choice but to say no peace. Ukraine wants this. Mm-hmm. And I think Zelensky's probably getting advised by other individuals because we know about the interests of these elites, say Boris Johnson or whatever, who went to them and said, don't negotiate peace. Trump is trying to get it. I think Zelensky's taking orders from somebody else.
Well, Clint Russell thinks it's the British. He thinks
Probably.
They've been colluding with the British behind the Americans' back.
Yep.
Which indicates that they're an enemy to me. If we're their ally in a war and then we try to end that war and they go rogue and inflame the war, they're stepping over into enemy territory. You don't have to have two sides in a war. You could have more than two sides in a war.
Let's just cut them off. The U.S.
That would be step one, yes.
Stop supplying any money or resources to Ukraine as of now.
Yeah, I mean,
you'll get peace real quick.
I think that's probably something that most Americans would probably get behind.
Everyone's over it.
There are some Americans that like Ukraine purely because they feel like that is opposing Donald Trump because it's opposing Putin. So they've got this connection in their head where if I stand up and I put a Ukraine flag in my yard, that's the new resist because Donald Trump loves Putin and Putin's fighting Ukraine. So it's me standing up and being a good Democrat. But those people are,
retarded.
Well, yes, they are retarded, but they're also exceedingly rare nowadays. They're not actually, they might be loud on X or whatever, but there's not a lot of them in the real world anymore.
True.
So I think that it's the best play for Trump to just be like, look, the United States doesn't have anything to do with this, and if Europe wants to continue funding Ukraine's war, let them.
But I wonder if that would even accelerate towards a global world war. If the U.S. got just stuck back, like real idiots would take over.
Well, I mean, there's still people in France and in the UK that want to see Ukraine, continue the fight. I don't know how much influence they have. I don't know if that's the majority. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the majority in France, but Europe is who has to worry about this. I said it earlier. We've got the insulation of the Atlantic Ocean. and we don't have to really be super concerned with what's going on in Europe. This is Europe's problem. Europe should be taking the lead. And that's kind of what the Trump administration, that was my assumption of what the Trump administration was doing at the beginning.
Let's jump to this next story, my friends. We have this viral video. Take a look at this strange red celestial object. Ooh. You see this? Watch this. Watch this video. Listen to this.
See, that's there. That's there.
And that's not the sun. That can't be the sun because the sunset is over there.
What?
That's a planet.
The sunset.
There's the sunset.
It is over there.
Mommy, that's a planet.
And the moon is up here.
So that must be a planet.
The moon is above us.
Oh, I hate that song. Sound effect.
What could it possibly be, Ian?
A balloon?
A deep fake.
A balloon?
Could be. I mean,
what do you think it is, Chrissy?
I think it's our flat Earth showing.
I think that is computer imposed generate. Look at the weird halo around it. I think a kid saw a little dot in the sky and thought it was a planet, and then they got the video and they edited it.
I think it is the sunset.
It's the sun.
Oh, that's just the sun.
Yes, there's a wildfire right now, and haze from Canada is sweeping across the U.S., largely in the Midwest. I went out for ice cream, and I saw it was a peanut butter sundae.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Great.
Basically just vanilla ice cream drenched in peanut butter. And I saw that, and I was like, that's really cool. And this is what happens. Do you guys ever hear the story about when the power went out in L.A., and then people started calling the police because of a strange object in the sky, and it was the Milky Way?
Yep.
Well, here's the news. Here's the actual story. Take a look at this.
A massive cloud of Saharan dust is about to sweep across the southeastern United States. Carried by powerful winds from the Sahara Desert, the world's largest hot desert. This dust plume has traveled thousands of miles across the Atlantic Ocean and is now closing in on states like Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi.
Build that wall. Build that wall.
The phenomenon, known as the Saharan air layer, forms when desert winds lift huge amounts of dust into the atmosphere, sometimes creating clouds up to 4 kilometers thick.
Ooh.
Wow.
This isn't just any weather event. While it can pose serious health risks for people with asthma, allergies, or respiratory conditions,
Hey, real quick, isn't AI video getting crazy?
yeah, it also plays a complex role in the climate. The dust can reduce air quality and limit visibility,
And lightning strikes too?
but it can also help suppress
can't it
hurricanes
do?
by stabilizing the atmosphere.
Friction in the air.
And
Static
while the skies
electricity.
may turn hazy, they'll likely deliver spectacular sunrises and sunsets, glowing orange and red through the dust-filled air.
Okay, that's the point. Anyway, so pay attention because reportedly in the next week or so, there's going to be, the wildfires are still going, there's going to be dust storms, and people are going to think the sun is a planet.
I can't wait to hear all of the stupid on the internet.
I'm just glad that Saharan sand is finally going to make its way back into the ocean since the last flood.
Ian, the
flood.
Saharan air dust thing happens all the time.
Yeah, it's like
I
the
think
Earth
we
is
should,
combing it back into
build
the
a wall, make
Yeah.
the dust pay for it.
Yeah, I like that. Build the wall, make the
Maybe-
African dust pay for it.
Maybe there's a lot of gold in the African dust.
Oh, start mining the air.
You see, that's right.
Panning for gold. Spray water up there to get it dense, get it thicken, and then just hit it with a laser to make the metals fall off.
No.
We also had that geostorm the other day, which apparently is ongoing and intensifying, and I've noticed nothing. It's been rather mundane. It was very hot today. It was 85 degrees.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Summer like.
Very beautiful.
The chickens were hot out there.
Yep. They were panting.
I'm constantly thinking, not constantly, but I've often think about how do we get all that sand in the Sahara back into the ocean? Because as far as I can tell, it's ocean sand that flooded up onto the continent 12,800 years
Why do
ago.
you want to do that?
So we can get down to the dirt underneath and start.
Snowplows?
Get a lot of
Snowplow,
kids with
shovel.
shovels.
Or
Hey,
wind.
but wait. What if we dumped all the sand into the Mediterranean and then created a large landmass, and then you'd have land instead of sea?
New
Then
Africa.
we could send the people in Gaza instead. I don't even like.
Send
I'm
the
joking
illegals
about that. I'm
there.
gonna go to hell. I still feel like I'm gonna go to hell for joking about that. What's that?
Send the illegals there. The sand island.
I didn't say island. I said fill the whole Mediterranean with sand.
So Ian, you were kind of going to make a point about what was under the sand in the Sahara. What do you-
dirt. old waterways and rivers. There's apparently a large river that went east-west across where now the Sahara is.
So it's sand and then dirt?
Yeah, underneath. Okay. I don't know how deep it goes.
Maybe it was
then
just
a layer
the
of fudge,
pole shift.
and then a layer of cookies.
Maybe.
Before the poles shifted, maybe the wind and the water were going a different way. And so where the Sahara was in a different position on the globe.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, like what would happen to the Sahara? This is interesting. What would happen to the Sahara if it shifted heavily into the northern hemisphere? Would it become moist? The sand would be washed away largely, and it would create different structures?
So I'm not exactly sure what makes the Sahara so dry.
Because it's not enough foreplay, Bill.
Well, I don't think
it doesn't love itself.
It doesn't. I just don't do it for the Sahara.
Too much in a rush.
I feel like it's not about the topography. It is the location on the Earth. Because if you look at North Africa and Sahara's dry, but then below that it's all jungle and stuff. So like rainforest.
The equator's keeping it down, man. But
I'm not so sure if that's the case or not. But
it's so hot that it's hard. It's hard for the sand. And it doesn't rain that much, so it's hard for the sand to get washed away.
Yeah.
And that's the equator doing that. That's all that direct sunlight because it's constantly facing the sun. But if it was in the northern hemisphere, maybe it would get
what would happen to all
rain.
that sand?
Yeah, get rained on and then turn into vegetation would start coming up and then ground into dirt, silt, and then become a new ground layer, maybe.
A new ground layer?
Yeah, maybe.
So you're saying underneath all that sand, we're going to find cities and stuff?
Oh, for sure. Dirt, or ancient communication, all sorts of old.
Atlantis.
That was one of the most populated areas on Earth.
Prehistoric cell phones?
Perhaps. They might have had radio.
Communications?
I don't think we could call it prehistoric cell phones prehistoric. If they had cell phones, they had historic.
History? Well, some kind of what other kind of communication device do you think?
I toy with the idea that they had radio. I don't know if they did.
Just a dinosaur with an iPad down there.
They had I wonder if they had telescopes.
Wi-Fi.
Some people said the reason why those comets hit North America and North Asia and caused that global catastrophe was because the magnetic field had disrupted and it might have been man-made. That they were using, instead of explosive technology for motivation, implosive technology and vibrating the system to create piezoelectric electricity.
I asked ChatGPT
vibrating the Earth
if there were secret cities in the Sahara.
Yeah.
Because my assumption is as Ian's describing it.
Of course.
And it said, yes, hidden secret cities in the Sahara Desert, referring to military installations and government operations. And I was like, that's not what I meant.
Really? Just sit
Wow.
under the sand.
No, the point is, when I asked ChatGPT about secret cities, it was like governments are operating secret military bases throughout the Sahara that we don't know about.
Underground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it is hot, so you would want some kind of respite from the sun.
Yeah, no one's going to walk inadvertently.
Between 10,000 and 5,000 years ago, the Sahara had lakes, rivers, and grasslands.
Yeah.
It dried out and the settlements were abandoned.
So it wasn't
buried
even all
by
that
sand.
long ago.
Lakefront property.
There's a buried river channel and settlement outline suggesting more cities remain lost under the dunes.
Oh my gosh. I just want, if we could get the whole world to focus on that, that's what I want.
Well, you know about that line? They're growing trees to stop the spread of the Sahara.
Oh.
Basically, what's happening is the Sahara is a desert. It's destroying life, and it's spreading. So a bunch of nations have planted trees along the edge, which will stop desertification.
In the south?
Yeah.
On the southern edge? That's good.
Yeah.
I want to get a drone program where we have 100,000 drones that are just 24/7 carrying buckets of sand back into the ocean.
Well,
Why
if
don't
they
we
could have done that. They could have put out the wildfires in LA.
Yeah.
Water.
How much would it cost to build a pipeline from Western Africa right into the heart of the Sahara and just dump billions of gallons of seawater just right in the middle of the Sahara for no reason?
Cool. make a theme park.
That might be good. I wonder if the
the
salt water might harm. But I mean, what can you really? How can you harm the sand?
Yeah, it's literally just sand. I mean, I assume there are some bugs, because there are scorpions or
sandworms.
So it's about 1,250 miles from Senegal, the Atlantic coast, and if you're going to the Deep Sahara and Temenreset, Algeria, you're looking at 1,305 miles. How much would it cost to build a pipeline that long to pump seawater into the Sahara?
Or if you had a satellite that was geosynchronously right above an area, and then it was projecting an ionic field to produce rain clouds.
60 to 120 billion dollars
to build
Not that much.
Yeah. Elon's got that.
Yeah.
You could print that tomorrow.
Could you imagine if Elon was like, I'm going to liquidate all of my shares in SpaceX and Tesla and build a water pipeline into the Sahara for no reason? You're like, okay, I guess.
Just to mix it up.
It's a wild project, but it should be done.
Yeah. Because it is populatable land, too. It's not just like we'll find cool stuff. If there's really like riverways and grassland underneath.
Like I said, I don't think that it's a desert because of topography. So it's like that part of the world just doesn't get a lot.
Okay.
It has seashells in it. They found like remnants of ocean.
Yeah.
For $3 billion, they could dredge a canal.
Ooh.
That's the start. A big, long canal.
Just seawater flowing straight in.
Maybe.
Right into the middle of the Sahara
make
for
a
no reason.
beach.
From where to where?
Like I already read that, from Algeria, from Senegal into Algeria.
Is that west to east? I need a map.
So, all right, check this out. Actually, ChatGPT gave me a breakdown. It says a pipeline would cost between $60 and $120 billion with high maintenance. A canal could be 20 to 60 billion. Okay, that's not what it said before. Rail and truck transport would be super cheap. Literally driving by truck loads of water would be less than $1 billion.
Wow.
That makes no sense.
Really?
Let's see. Atmospheric harvesting appears to be the cheapest. And there's already underground aquifers, so you actually just need to put drills there and pump the water.
Oh, there it is. The water's already there. It's just
Yeah.
under the surface.
So we just need to drill and then pump it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that it's not about topography. It's about where
It's a dead zone.
Yeah, where it is in the.
What do you mean? It's not about topography. What do you mean?
So there's no features on the African continent that's preventing water from getting to.
You need mountains. Right. You need mountains.
You need mountains.
Moisture in the air collects in the tops of the mountains, and then when it heats, it melts, and then the water pours down.
There's people that go to the tops of mountains, freeze. They'll pump water up to the top of the mountain. They'll freeze it, and then the water will melt and create rivers. This is like real tech that people are doing these days.
Poland Spring.
It would cost. ChatGPT says it would cost trillions of dollars to turn the Sahara into a forest. A global alliance over 100 years.
Wow.
Let's focus on that.
And then that'll be our test run for
Hold on.
Mars, because we're going to have to do it again on Mars.
Why don't we just nuke the Sahara? That'll do something, right?
I mean, I don't.
Sand in everybody's eyes.
Something. It'll do something. I'm not sure what that something is. You know.
Make a lot of dust storms too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we might end up with a lot of dust here, a lot of radioactive dust.
Terraform the Sahara. Final answer.
I'd rather not drop
running in
nuclear bombs
2028.
on it.
Elon should put people on a rocket, tell them they're going to Mars, but have them land in the Sahara.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, because then they'll get there and there'll be like biodomes and stuff. And then he's going to be like, it's actually not very cold there. It's very hot. You'd be surprised. The science is wrong.
They would believe it too.
speak
Send
Mauritanian?
Gail King there. Send the whole, like Bezos' girlfriend, all the chicks from the space pod. Send them
Katy
over
Perry.
there. Yes, Katy Perry. Get her out of here.
Her career is gone. Have you been following this?
Yeah, she's
She got fired from Vegas.
oof.
Well, how come?
Her last album got no views. Nobody it was miserable.
done.
She did that Woman's World thing where she was like Rosie the Riveter and everybody hated it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
She's just out of touch, I think.
You know what I want to say? I've been talking about this for a while, and I am correct that I've been vindicated. I was talking about there's that meme where Abe Simpson goes to Homer and Barney when they're teenagers and said, "I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was, and now what it is weird and scary to me, and it'll happen to you." Nope, it's not. It's literally not happening, and the evidence is in how they're handling collectibles, shows, the products they're marketing, and the fact that millennials don't have kids. There's not enough young people to buy new products. So what we're actually seeing now is take a look at they're rebooting King of the Hill. Great example. They're rebooting Malcolm in the Middle. The fact that they're bringing back nostalgia and these old shows instead of making new things for young people proves my point. So millennials are a much bigger generation than Gen Alpha, and Gen Z is it's a way of like the stuff that they made for millennials, which is basically the last generation, is highly marketable and profitable because millennials actually have some money. Gen Z is broke and can't get off the ground, so there's no products to sell to them. Gen Alpha is only 40 million. It's half the size of Gen Z and millennials. So what does that mean? Where's the money? millennials. So what are we getting? Reboots of old stuff from the 90s over and over and over again. They're making Malcolm in the Middle again. They're making King of the Hill again. Bobby's an adult now.
Did you see that they're using AI to pick up old series and then...
Yep. Yeah, they're going to make new episodes of Friends.
And it's going to be imperceivable, dude. It might not be quite. It might be more funny.
Chandler, he'll be back.
He'll be back. They own his likeness
Chandler
probably because of the
Bing
stupid
baby.
contracts they signed in the 90s where it's like, we own your likeness in perpetuity across all universes for all space and time.
Yep.
They were like, what does that even
You know,
mean?
the
Of course
funniest,
I'll take the money.
one of the funniest things in the world to me is when you go to the casino, any casino, and they have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory slot machines, and there's Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka smiling, telling you to gamble. And I'm like, I don't think when he signed onto that movie deal, he thought that was going to happen. But he did. And they were like, it says we own this character for anything. Could you imagine how weird it's going to get? Like, what company owns Willy Wonka?
The Willy Wonka's
Hershey's.
The brand. No, like the movie.
Oh, Disney.
Yeah, who Disney owns the likeness of that guy?
Pretty sure, yeah.
So they sold his likeness to slot machines. Imagine what other kind of debauchery they can use your likeness for when you've sold it forever.
Oh my gosh.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory adult content.
Like, talk about
Yikes.
chocolate. Yeah, you knew where that was going. It's because the company gets sold to a derelict.
Yeah, Charlie and the Backdoor Adventures.
Oh,
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Chocolate.
I was just gonna say there's a
Charlie in the Chocolate
there's
Factory.
a chocolate joke in there that's just waiting to be
Earmuffs.
Charlie's
Earmuffs.
18. And this would be like the tagline.
No.
Charlie's 18 and things are just getting heated up.
Oh God.
Charlie hasn't been able to eat for a week straight. He just eats gummy bears because he's getting ready for the Chocolate Factory.
Well, that's, I think, literally, and it might be to the point where you could be like, show me a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that's gay. Or you could be like, or it might, at first it's just going to feed you what it wants to feed you, but eventually you're going to be like, no, less gay. You'll be able to like twist it a little bit, but 5 characters instead of 4.
Ugh.
All right. Now they're all 35 instead of 12. Now they're all, and you're going to be able just to have your localized version maker.
Gene Wilder, for that character, he really wanted to do that move where he like falls down and then does like a forward roll.
Check it out. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is getting a reboot. Goosebumps already got a reboot. Animaniacs is getting rebooted. Fresh Prince is getting a reboot. Bergerac, I don't know what that is. UK.
Maybe Cyrano.
Desperate Housewives, Malcolm in the Middle, Scrubs, The Joe Schmo Show. I don't remember that. And what are this? The Tweenie? I don't know what that is. I was thinking about this because I've said before, here's what's going to happen. There's a stadium. The promoters for the stadium say, we want to sell 90,000 tickets. What do we do? Someone's going to come in and say, okay, well, typically we sell to young people. Who do you've got? We've got Sabrina Carpenter. How many tickets can we sell? 10,000. Okay, well, we got 90,000 seats. We're not putting her in here. Who do you have? And they're like, Metallica? Something from the 90s? Something older or from the late 80s and 90s? We've already started seeing this with Beyonce and Katy Perry, where they're struggling to sell stadiums, but still are. Not Katy Perry as much. But Sabrina Carpenter sells arenas. That's 10,000. Mm-hmm. That's much, much smaller. And so what I've been saying is, because the promoters are simply going to say, look, I get it. Gen Z has its celebrities, but we're going to sell more tickets if we target millennials. They don't have kids. They have more money. Just target them. That means you're going to see the entertainment industry, products that come from this, trying to pander to millennials instead of children. Case in point, not just the reboots, but McDonald's launched adult Happy Meals.
Oh.
Instead of making things for children, where they have toys and culture and content made for children, they're just trying to sell these things to adults.
Yep.
So it's going to get wild.
I like getting Happy Meals. Sometimes you just want a little bit of McDonald's.
And you want your toy.
Like we got, when the internet video appeared, it got static, not stagnant. Like things are still changing, but all the music and art, like TV shows, they're just there 24/7 available for you to watch. There's no time anymore.
I got another example for you.
Time, but
another example for you. Tony Hawk and Activision launched Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, and it bombed miserably. Nobody wanted it. They said it was trash. We don't want to play that. So what did they do? They remastered Tony Hawk 1 and 2, and it sold like hotcakes.
Wow.
Because there's no young people to buy a new product. And millennials just want what they already like. So now what they're doing is remastering Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, and they're sponsoring big events. It was crazy. I was watching a video. It was a scooter contest. and the scooter dude's doing a double backflip or something. But the ramps all said THPS 3+4. And I'm like, yo, that game came out 20 years ago.
Wow.
Young people, it's simple. Young people probably bought Tony Hawk 5 to play, but there's like 15 of them. So they didn't make enough money to make back their costs on the product. So they said, just make what millennials want. They announced they were going to do Tony Hawk 3 and 4, and Bam Margera wasn't going to be in it. There's a huge backlash on the internet. Even I said, I won't buy it. Put Bam in it, I will. And then they announced Tony Hawk was like, no, we can't have Bam has to be in it. So they had him come in. They did it all. Now they're launching the game. Bam Margera's in it. Bam Margera's in his mid-40s.
And he's not skateboarding lately.
Where is...
He's got a bad back.
This generation... He's skating. He's shredding. Oh, yeah, he's killing
That's
it.
a great video.
Absolutely.
Once in a while.
Good for him. I thought that
he's cool.
No, I mean, I'm impressed how good he's doing. But the crazy thing is, where's the Gen Z Bam Margera level of celebrity? Nope.
Playing video games.
I mean, look, with all due respect, you got R. Willie. That dude's amazing. Probably one of the greatest athletes of Gen Z, of the younger generation. But he's not getting nearly as much attention as Bam Margera is, even though Bam Margera's half retired.
And Mr. Beast has 300 million subscribers on YouTube now. I don't think my parents know who he is.
They don't.
And he would be the only thing I could think of as like the Joe Rogan of the left.
He's a millennial though.
Like he's someone that seems like they've pierced the zeitgeist, like as if it was 1996, and they're unforgettable. He will be remembered forever.
Very few boomers are like.
Oh, actually, no. Mr. Beast is Gen Z. He's just barely Gen Z. So I'll give Gen Z that. They got Mr. Beast. That's big. But Gen Alpha is cooked. There's only 40 million Gen Alpha.
Damn.
Yep.
They better get busy.
Timothy Chalamet, see Gen Alpha?
I mean,
that's legit.
Like,
who?
Timothy Chalamet.
No, he's Gen Z.
Oh, he's a great actor.
The other thing I noticed with this is that I was watching that Chris Pratt movie with what's her face? What's that woman's name from Stranger Things?
Winona Ryder?
Oh
no, the young one.
Yeah,
Millie Bobby Brown.
Right.
And it was playing Guns N' Roses. And I was like, dude, this is like 1989.
What song? Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah,
one of the best albums of all time in my
opinion. This is the point. Like, you watch Iron Man 2. What does it start with? AC/DC.
Yeah.
And it's and
from the 90s.
Right. It's kind of crazy.
When it was all that art was getting focused through the centralized airwaves.
There's not, yes, and there's not, aside from decentralization, there's not enough young people for new music.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny is like when I put on, I'll put on like Pandora autoplay, and it's like usually rock and indie rock. So I'll get some new stuff, right? Metric puts out new stuff all the time. I love Metric. But we were skating last weekend, and it was playing Soundgarden and Korn and Slipknot, and it's like 90s and 2000s early stuff, because if you want to listen to rock, new rock doesn't hit. Nobody knows about it. Nobody wants to listen to it. And then when you look at modern music, it doesn't reach as many people. Like, once again, Sabrina Carpenter is huge, but she's selling arenas. And I saw this post online where they're bragging, like, Sabrina Carpenter is selling out and Beyonce can't. And it's like, Beyonce sold 70,000 tickets. Sabrina Carpenter sold 10,000. She's big, but there's not enough young people. We're going to go to chats. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Literally everybody. Like your grandma. Call him like, Mom, Grandma, why aren't you watching Timcast IRL? We should make a commercial like that. We're going to have that uncensored call-in show coming up at 10 p.m. for all of you at rumble.com/TimcastIRL. Use promo code TIM10. You get $10 off your yearly membership to Rumble and all of Rumble content. Tales from the Inverted World. Open call-in starting at 10 p.m. as well. So if you're watching on Rumble, it is, oh yeah, Ian's face lit up.
Is he live? Does he go live at 10? Like, I got to pop into that.
Monday through Thursday, live at 10 p.m. on Rumble. Anyone can call in. Anyone.
Anyone?
It's supposed to be to talk about like Sasquatch and aliens and ghosts. But I figure people are going to call in and screw around. But it's meant to be a fun. It's uncensored. It's on Rumble. You can't do that stuff on YouTube. So that's going to be live again tonight. Yo, their first episode on Rumble, 125,000 views.
Good. That's where
second episode, 120,000 views.
Yeah, Shane's legit.
They are hitting it out of the park. So, I mean, to be fair, like basically the plan was when we wrap IRL, we promote and raid their channel.
Is that okay?
To get, to keep the show going. But y'all can
also, the show's awesome. Like, it needs more eyeballs. Shane's super smooth.
If you're interested in UFOs and weird stuff. But let's grab your chats, my friends. See what you got to say. All good guy says, howdy, people. Howdy.
Howdy.
Shadich Walter says, as a tradcath, I wander from the FBI list. Damn it. That means I'm on a list with the spoon thief, Seamus. This injustice will not stand.
Yep.
Props to Grassley, Cash, and Dan for getting this out. Yeah. You heard this?
No.
The FBI was targeting Catholics as extremists.
Oh, man.
Yeah, crazy. And they lied about it. Chris Ray said, it was one office, and it turned out it was a bunch of offices targeting Catholics.
Was it like another Catholic and another concentric?
Tradcaths. They were claiming that Catholics were radical extremists.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you hear about Moms for Liberty? They were targeted by the FBI. They were called terrorists.
Yeah, someone was saying if the police state became too extreme, that they could say like even believing in God is a mental illness.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's
satanic.
I think it was told on Her Take, an episode of Her Take, to Jack Posobiec, and when Jack heard that, I saw him shudder at the concept.
Let's go. What have we here? Let's see. Spooky Toucan says, for as worldly as Democrats claim to be, they're ignorant on how the world actually works. As a former expat, it's well understood by all expats that our visas can be revoked at any time for any reason. Indeed. Yup.
It's a privilege.
But it's funny because they believe that they have a right to go wherever they want, whenever they want, and so does everybody else.
It's a privilege.
That's the world view. That's Mr. Global that, Catherine Austin Fitz called it.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a great interview.
Been too forgiving.
Democrats think everybody has a right to be anywhere they want at any point for any reason. So they can go to any country they want whenever they want, and people can come here for any reason.
They should try running a guild in a video game. See how that goes.
All right, Sean H. says, what's the point of having the House or Senate when nothing gets done because lower courts keep blocking them? We want criminals gone, and the justice system just wants them to stay. Yep. That's why I'm like, the system is unstable and is breaking apart. I don't know what else to tell you. All right. Lurch says, who the hell are we? Israel? We collectively punish families for the crimes of one person? Haha. Or if, like, there's a family and the leader, like the patriarch of that family, commits a terror attack, it's likely that his family holds similar views to him, and it is not incumbent upon us to wait to find out. Mm-hmm. We can simply say, your visas are conditional, and we think it's better for everybody if you just go away.
I love how, like, he threw the whole, extra little bit, the Israel stuff, to be like, oh, will you say this? It's like, nobody has a right to be in the United States, and that's all there is to it. Like, visas are visas for a reason. You're not a citizen.
There's too many people. Why don't we just keep the ones that are, law-abiding?
Yeah. You'd think it'd be simple to understand.
All right, what have we here? Common Sense Fishing says, migrants of all forms legal are all guests until they become citizens. To Ian, if you had a home, USA, and a group of guests came into your home with your permission and hurt your kid, would you kick the group out or the offender?
I'd kick the offender out. If a group came in and one of them hurt my kid, I'd kick him out. I wouldn't blame the rest of the group, though.
So if 10 orcs came in, and they're all going, oh, we're orcs, and then one of them hit a kid in the face with a hammer, and then you'd be like, no, you guys, you're good, you stay, but you got to go.
I'd be like, orc, out of here. All you other ones, you're orcs.
Or what if there
Get
were
out.
like a bunch of pit bulls, but just one pit bull bit your kid? Well, let these other pit bulls stay. They haven't done anything yet.
Oh, you're asking me if I would become racist.
Dogsist.
No, that's not it.
Oh, dogsist.
If a group of people who believe that the moon is made of cheese and they're violent to anybody, okay, there's 5 people. They think the moon is cheese, and anybody who dares oppose them should be murdered. The 5 people come into your house, and the biggest one beats a kid to death. You'd be like, the kid says, the moon's not made of cheese. So he goes, boom, and slugs him in the face.
No.
You'd be like, those other people can stay, but you got to go.
No, well, in that instance, I'd be like, you are in a psychotic death cult of some kind of violent cult. You're all out of here.
So when a guy and his family come from the same country, and that guy espouses jihadi worldviews and is a violent terrorist who attacks innocent people, why should it be incumbent upon the American people to wait to find out if his family holds the same views as him?
That I can't argue with
We should just, your visas are all conditional. You all go home together.
If they're citizens, it's another story, completely another story. You do not victimize people related to people that committed crimes.
Think about what you did.
Yes, but the visas are conditional. And so it's not punishment to be like, you got to go home, dude. This is wild to me that anybody lives in a world where they're like, you You sent them home? Yeah, bro. A guy broke into my house, so I gave him a ride home.
They're just guests. Bye. It's such a simple, and
what are they adding to society by staying?
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care.
It's literally like, Ian, if you come over to my house and you look at me dead in the eyes and then look down and swat a glass of milk onto the floor, and I said, Ian, for doing that, I want you to get in my car. I'm going to drive you home. They're acting like
weird.
that's
It'd be an awkward ride, too.
It sure would. I'm sure it's very awkward
I'll
for
get my own ride.
I'm sure it's awkward for the CBP or ICE or whoever when they're on that plane with a bunch of people being deported. But the point is that fascistic? They're acting like these people are getting the death penalty.
It's authoritarian, but doesn't mean
it's
bad.
not.
Well,
It's government stuff, man.
You want to talk about authoritarian?
To revoke
you come into my
family members?
That's not authoritarian.
It's not bad. I'm just saying it's definitely authoritarian.
No, it isn't.
The one guy gets to decide if your visa is good or not. That's
not authoritarian.
It's a committee.
Because it's not the supreme ruler isn't the one that's making the decision. It's the actual right.
It's Congress passed a law that we voted for these people. There's an executor who enacts the law based on what the Congress has written, and the judges can then make determinations. That's not authoritarianism.
No, not extreme. It's not extreme authoritarianism.
It's not authoritarianism at all.
We have courts.
The argument you're making is that any authority at all ever is authoritarian.
Okay, maybe it is semantic, but you might be right. I don't want to overuse. I don't want to soften the term authoritarian.
I would argue, in fact, it's the opposite of this. If someone breaks into my house and kicks my dog, and I go, "Hey, you, I'm gonna give you a ride back to your house," I would actually call that compassion for a very bad person. I mean, if you break into my house and commit violence against me and my family, I have a right to use lethal force to defend myself. But instead of doing that, I go, "Sir, we're going to disarm you and give you a ride back to your house."
Yeah, that's nice.
We're doing nothing else to you. Just go home and don't come back.
I would call that simping. That'd be simping.
Make them pay for
You're
the
correct.
Uber back.
The way the U.S. is handling these violent criminal aliens is simping for them. and my point is, Democrats go, "They're so fascist. They're giving these people rides back home."
We're not making them walk.
They get a plane ride back to their homes.
Yeah, just send them back.
Yeah, with coffee.
It is by the good graces of the magnanimous Donald Trump that Abrego Garcia is home.
He brought him back.
He brought him home. That's all anyone ever wanted.
That's right.
You know what? I want to do that man on the street. I want to go around and be like, now that Donald Trump has brought Abrego Garcia home, how do you feel?
Who?
It'd be so confusing.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Who?
Brought him home safely.
Remember that guy they accused of being an MS-13 gang member and he got deported by mistake?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Trump brought him home. How do you feel about that?
That's awesome. That'd be great.
They're all going to be like, really? I didn't know that. That's really good news. I'm glad to hear it.
Be like, that's great.
It's all just Coney 2012.
That's right. All right. Let's see what we got here. 3-star Perfect Deer says, y'all complain about Ian too much. Y'all have no life.
Nobody.
We
don't
love
complain
Ian.
about Ian at all.
Maybe talking about the chat.
Oh.
Ian's a coffee magnate.
Yeah, get that graphene dream. I love coffee. Well, I'm somewhat polarizing on purpose. I'm like just letting it fly on this generally conservative news show, and I'll come in here and talk about psychic powers.
How's this a conservative news show?
Well, the way we communicate is relatively conservative because we're on air. That's what I mean by.
What does that mean?
We don't say.
We're not
fuck
saying
a
the
lot.
N-word.
Yeah, we don't.
I'm holding back.
Really nasty.
Like liberals
jokes.
do.
Well, we're just not taking liberty with language. We're very conservative with our language and our behavior. Like I'm not getting up and ripping my shirt. I'm not sure.
I got to pause
Take your
you.
shirt off.
When you say it's a conservative news show, you know what you're saying.
I'm not saying politically conservative. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so clarify that because the insinuation of what you're saying, there's a colloquial understanding of what you just said.
That's funny. But what I mean is, of course, is that I think just the behavior in this room is relatively conservative for me in my life. I mean, it's the most conservative hour or 2 hours I spend usually in a week. I'm not smoking weed. Like I'm a crazy party animal for the most part. But so I see how maybe I'm a little out of place for you if you're watching.
Is the implication that hanging out calmly is conservative?
No, being on air. We have to be to
no.
maintain
You said this is conservative. The implication is that
we're Ben Shapiro or like.
Yeah, like the fact that if you were to hang out with your friends and you were just like talking about the news for a couple hours while drinking some sodas, regardless of their views, it's a conservative hangout.
If we were like
do they got to get naked?
No, but if we
I'm a
weren't
mom
cussing,
now, okay, Ian? I'm not doing the cleavage anymore.
I noticed. Times have changed, Chrissy.
He noticed right away. He was sad.
That's what I walked in
I mean,
the room.
unless we need more viewers, then I'll do what I need to do.
Yeah. Interesting point about the word conservative, because I don't want it to be dirty. Truly, like if you're like, you know what, I'm not going to spend money tonight, you're being conservative
Okay.
with your money that
But
night.
when you say this is a conservative news show, most people think like,
talking
okay,
about
you have like Christian conservative or politically conservative values.
Interesting.
This is actually a liberal show.
It is pretty, relatively to like Ben Shapiro or other shows where like there are a lot of things you don't touch on.
I would argue that if you take wokeness and just don't consider it a real thing, this is a liberal talk show.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a progressive talk show, but
This
it's
is for 1992.
I used to think I was real liberal because I grew up in a relatively conservative
so.
Northeast Ohio. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm a lot more conservative than I thought. I'm like Christian
You're a
ideals.
total
Nobody
authoritarian.
is wearing a suit here.
Yeah.
We're not dressed up in like proper professional level.
Because I was raised in a Christian environment and I kind of just became the Christian ethos. Like that's a big part of what I am is I believe in that stuff. I feel like I'm a lot more conservative than I realized on the grand scheme. Like seeing people dyeing their hair blue and screaming about Elon Musk and crying about, like, that's so out of the...
It's called
That's
mental
mentally ill.
illness.
That's true too.
Remember, the Democrats are
like-
mostly mentally ill.
Socialism and all that. I don't know. I can go on and on about this, but I'm realizing, that it's, I'm a lot more conservative than I ever thought I was.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into
Bad
polygamy.
thing.
I dated a girl that was into polygamy and I just wasn't. And like you would think if I was
Who has
liberal,
time for all that? Who has time for threesomes? Who wants to be with two people not getting them off? It's all a racket.
I think you
It's
might
a racket, huh?
the idea is like a cool idea, but it's not what I really want. Like
Yeah.
it would feel good, like tickle, but it wouldn't be fulfilling or
Sure.
satisfying. And
Fair
that's
enough.
that's a very conservative way to think.
growing
Monogamy.
You're becoming an adult.
You're very conservative because you don't want to bang hoes.
All right, let's
Conservative guy on a conservative show, being conservative.
Brad Peters says, I think we're witnessing the birth of a new political dynamic. The Republican Party is splitting, and the Democrats are dying out. We've seen this before, but this one is especially chaotic. I agree. We talked about this before the election, like what happens if Democrats wins or Republicans win. And the Democrats have been arguing a couple years ago the Republican Party was done. It was over. And this was largely when Trump was out of a spotlight. Now it's clearly the inverse. The Democrats don't exist anymore. And what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a left side of the Republican Party and a right side of the Republican Party. After Trump leaves, there's going to be a fight over who should represent the right. And you're going to have the more liberal-leaning wing of moderate types and the more staunchly conservative types. And I think what we'll end up seeing is there will be vitriol, but it's not going to be over wokeness. It's going to go back to the way things were probably in the 90s where people rolled their eyes, but at dinner they hung out. They had friends. Yeah, my friends are conservative. Yeah, but just don't talk to them about it. We'll go watch the game. I think it'll be things like that.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I feel like it'll settle into like Christian conservatives versus everybody else who's kind of in the middle, which is kind of how it was in the 90s.
That's what I was just thinking, is that it'll be J.D. Vance for sure. He'll be running. And then who are the other Republicans? Bobby Kennedy, maybe. He might just support Vance. A lot of those people in the administration might get behind Vance. But another Republican might step up and be like, this obsessively conservative Christianity stuff is bizarre. Like you cannot, this or that, or abortion and never.
Not right
Even
away.
though there's a resurgence of Christian, people that are Catholic and Christians and stuff, I don't think that it's enough to be even a significant plurality, that are people that are really conservative Christians. Not to say that they're not out there, but I think that, part of the most part of the reason why there was a majority for Trump was because of the coalition that MAGA represented, not because there was enough people that said, oh, we're going to turn away from our sinful ways and become pious Christian people.
I think I was thinking more just like how are the groups going to like settle out like post-Trump?
Yeah. Who do you think is going to run against Vance, assuming he runs?
Booty gang.
But on the Republican side.
Maybe Tulsi? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Part of me thinks
Vivek's going to be governor of Ohio.
Yep.
Part of me thinks that it'll be that Donald Trump will be like, this is kind of my guy, and there won't be a significant number of people that are going to be running. I don't think that there'll be
I bet Rubio runs.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Maybe.
Massey, maybe?
He's run before.
I don't think
No,
Massey
not Massey.
wants to, but people are going to be calling for him to run.
He won't. I think Rubio would. And Rubio's going to be more of the neocon type. J.D. Vance is going to be more of the MAGA populist type. And maybe it'll be Vance.
And they're both really loved in the party. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of it's going to come down to where the funding goes.
We will see, my friends. But we're going to go to that uncensored call-in show now. So smash the like button, share the show if you do like it. Take the link and post it wherever you can. It really does help. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Head over to rumble.com/Timcast IRL for that uncensored members-only call-in show coming up in a few minutes. Chrissy, do you want to shout anything out?
Oh, yeah. I got a bunch of shows coming up. Go to ChrissieMayr.com for tickets and stay tuned. We've got some big things to announce maybe in a couple weeks.
I launched a website. I'm an affiliate with this company called Zen Cleanse, where I did this intestinal cleanse. I talked about it last year. Life-changing. Go to cleansewithian.com. And I end up getting a cut, like 15% or something of every sale that I make with these guys. But I believe in this product so much, I want to just tell people to get it. So this is just an opportunity to do both. But cleansewithian.com. Check it out. If you're into cleansing your body, there's just a million ways to talk about how cool it is. So there's that. Cleanse with Ian. I also want to thank you. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, for you being here, for you supporting the show and everything. People like me, people like Phil, people like Chrissy.
Why don't you guys team up and you could do a cast brew coffee enema?
That would be awesome. Just get tubes and like chill on the couch, like in the green room. Maybe we'll do that for a green room episode, enemas. Yeah, Tim's nodding. Okay, I got him on. It was like
No.
Phil is nodding and saying no.
I'm Phil That Remains on Twix. I'm Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. The band is All That Remains. You can check out our new record, Anti-Fragile. It came out in January. You can check it out on YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
We will see you all over at rumble.com/TimcastIRL for an additional hour or so of the show. Don't miss it. We'll see y'all there.